It's all about connections. Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center with Shared Beginnings invites you to their Community Connections event on Saturday, May 17th from 10 to 2. Everyone is invited to a fun-filled, action-packed day with vendors, food, car seat demonstrations, mommy makeovers, giveaways, games, and lots of fun. For more information about this event or to participate as a vendor, call 452-2260. Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center with Shared Beginnings, the Community Connection event, May 17th.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon, upper 80s to lower 90s. Tonight, partly cloudy, and overnight low will drop down upper 60s to lower 70s. Plenty of sunshine with us on Thursday, a high into the lower 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Cop CDL Academy. Call them today at 479-632-1050. Cop CDL Academy, expanding horizons.
Listening to ESPN 95.3.
Morning. Hey, what's going on? Christian, I got an echo in my voice. If you can fix that for me as we start the show here. I don't want to just be talking to myself. I want to be able to hear Matt. I talk to myself quite a bit throughout the day. Good to be with everybody.
A lot of stuff to say.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I don't really like listen to everything that I say though. You ever notice that? Sometimes there's a person that just doesn't kind of listen to everything you say. Sometimes it's a coworker, sometimes it's a boss, can be the significant other. Guarantee your kids are in that category. But that's much better, Christian. Thank you very much. Now I actually have to listen to everything that I've got to say, Matt. I don't know if there are plenty of listeners out there right now that would rather do something different than that.
There's probably some Always Sunny in Philadelphia fans. That's a Dennis quote. You know, you got to cite your work. Why are you talking to yourself? I got a lot of stuff to say.
And like trying to listen to yourself too and critique any shows or broadcasts or anything like that, right? Oh, good to be with everybody today. It is a Wednesday. It's a little bit overcast. We're going to be all right for baseball this weekend and be all right for softball this weekend, and we'll be great for halftime today. This is ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app. I'm Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Kristen Johnston in studio. The gang will all be together tomorrow, as I'll be headed up to Fayetteville for the baseball series. So we get to stand, because you and I never sit, Matt. Like, I've picked up what you do during the show. I'll give you your 6 feet of room. We will stand at the same time. Might even be just like it is today, although we're doing it from a couple hundred miles away. Be a couple of guys hanging out together in a radio studio, talking sports, drinking broth.
I love it. Yeah, man. We got to we'll have a good time. You got to compete. It's the little things, and, you know, I'll be gone before you, so maybe I can stand a little bit longer, but that'll be about it.
We could have a standing contest for 3 hours straight. See who gives up, who sits first. We could actually go a couple years into that, couldn't we? Well, good to be with you today. No Clay Henry today. We had Clay yesterday for a couple of hours. He's on his He's on his stay out of Lake Providence, Louisiana drive down to, well, it wasn't New Orleans. It's just north of the lake, he said, for this golf outing that he's a part of. And we will have, speaking of golf, Grant Hall, who will be, I think he's landed in Charlotte by now. Should have been about a couple hours ago, I think, is when he landed. So he's going to Valhalla for the PGA Championship this weekend. So we'll speak with Grant. It's kind of cool. I don't know if he's got plans to go to the U.S. Open, which he told me yesterday is in Oakmont, Pennsylvania, the home course of Arnold Palmer, or to go to wherever it is that the British Open is going to be held. But isn't it nice how we get a little correspondence from somebody that we don't even have to pay to be our correspondent, like Alyssa Orange was just a little bit a couple years ago at the Olympics? Well, I mean, last summer. We spoke with her, I think, twice while she was there. And now Grant Hall is like the official halftime golf majors correspondent.
I mean, how many times he's been to Augusta? That was his second home. I love it. I love being able to chat and talk a little bit about golf and to see kind of, if you're reading the charts, you're looking back, well, who's been playing the best the last couple tournaments, who kind of elevates their game in majors. So, yeah, it's going to be a healthy competition. Always love to hear what Grant has to say.
A lot of there's also a lot of there's a lot of Major League Baseball games today during the afternoon, which includes a doubleheader for the hottest team in baseball, the St. Louis Cardinals, who come into this doubleheader today, winners of 9 straight games, and they'll get 2 today against the Phillies with a day-night doubleheader and just a lot of other day games as well. So hit on that with Grant as well, because I did not have the Cardinals winning 9 games in a row in the middle of May on my Major League Baseball bingo card. But I do think there were some folks, Matt, if they had a bingo card for the NBA draft, would have had Boogie Flan pulls his name out of the draft on that bingo card and thought that they were going to hit it too. Just maybe not in the middle of the NBA draft combine, which just is kind of interesting to go through being measured. And I think, I don't know if he went through the shooting drills yesterday, but he went through the measurements, and he was on one of those teams that's supposed to be scrimmaging, I think, tomorrow in this draft combine. But now he's taken his name out of the draft. He's in the transfer portal. I mean, it feels to me like it's a foregone conclusion. He's not returning to Arkansas. Got all the rumors about Florida. And, hey, his agent is Mike Miller, former Florida Gator. So if you want to follow the smoke signals, there you go. There's one of them. But, Matt, your bingo card, I think, said, why don't you come back to college, Boogie, and make some money, because there was no guarantee he was going to be a first-rounder.
He's super talented, man. And you think of college point guards, I think he could be a top 5 point guard in the country if he's healthy and keeps it developed. So what is that worth? What is a top 5 point guard in the country worth in the open market? $2 million, right? Like if that's what you think, I mean, if you think that he can be a top, you look at Tyler Ziegler from Tennessee, you look at, was it Mark Sears from Alabama? Those were 2 of the better ones. I think Boogie can be, I mean, even Walter Clayton IV, I don't think he can be that good at all. You know, that dude's he led him to a national title, but I think Boogie could be a top 5 point guard.
Well, he's definitely going to be paid well wherever it is that it happens. I don't know what the dollar figure is. You know, Bo had thrown out $5 to $7 million. Whether that's overshooting what the actual dollar figure is, it's an appreciable amount of money for somebody that showed at times last year that he could very well be a big-time point guard in the SEC, if not yet in the NBA. And the Hogs already, like Cal's already, the position's kind of spoken for now. We already have a couple of point guards that are on the roster in anticipation of Boogie going into the draft. And the only thing he said yesterday, if you're looking at roster construction for the Razorbacks, Matt, I don't know if Cal was asked about, I think he said he hadn't spoken with Boogie or Knox when it came to the draft, or maybe it was Adu and Knox that he hadn't spoken to. But the one thing that you're waiting on right now for roster construction for Arkansas basketball is Carter Knox. They weren't waiting on Boogie Flan, Matt. They're waiting on Carter Knox, and he's still in the draft, at least for now.
Well, Carter Knox is he's a G. I think he's a top 20 player in the country wherever he goes in as far as the college basketball landscape. You hope he's an Arkansas Razorback. Thing with Boogie is he's such a baby. It's and I mean it in a good way. He's a young player. Who can he guard? Like, he can't guard anybody yet. He can cut passing lanes and get steals. He can do some things. He's super smart. That would be his superpower, so to speak, was would be his awareness, how he sees the game. He's got that. He's quick, but it's still though he's just so little bitty. Who's he going to guard?
6'2", 175, I think was not just the measurements he had on the Razorback roster. That was what they measured him in bare feet at the draft combine the other day. So I mean, all this says is either somebody gave his agent Mike Miller look. This is, you got to think about withdrawing right now. He's one of the first guys to take his name out of the draft, and for it to occur at the combine. I mean, this is where everybody is all together who's got a stake in the draft, whose job is worrying about drafting talent for your NBA team. They're all there. And so for those who thought, just watching the games, that he's too small and might not have like the one skill that necessarily stands out in a way that's going to get him picked in that first round or in the lottery, it makes perfect sense. So you still have, when is the date? You still got almost exactly a month until anybody else has to pull their name out of the draft. But, I mean, it's all about data. What kind of data do you get from NBA scouts, from general managers who got to be honest with these kids that go into a combine for a draft that has only two rounds? So, you get that kind of info, you make the choice, and now you're going to make good money probably in the SEC anyway.
Great time to be a college athlete, no question about it. I think of a guy like Dylan Gabriel, who was at Oklahoma, quarterback, little undersized, goes to Oregon and plays for another couple years, making $2-3 million. Boogie can make just as much money playing college basketball as that he can make. I don't know where he fits on that NBA landscape as far as, is he really going to be leading an NBA franchise? Well, if he does, then he'll get there. But why not make a couple $1 million playing? It's easier on you already played one college basketball season. You couldn't even make it through the whole season. What do you think? You can go play 82 games in the NBA, kind of grow up and just see it come to fruition.
I think that's the perfect way to lay it out there. And then there's this is controversial, the decision that Rob Manfred made yesterday now he did not reinstate Pete Rose and the Black Sox. All they did was change the language of what a permanent ban means. Now, we went through this before when this topic has come up previously. The term that I think a lot of people had used before is lifetime ban, so why not go in when you're dead? That was not what was written into the rule in 1991 when they changed the rule for voting for the Hall of Fame and did it because of Pete Rose. It's like, you are permanently ineligible if you're on the permanently ineligible list, whether dead or alive. And all Manfred did yesterday is change it back to, if you die, well, you're now eligible for the Hall of Fame. So everybody's got their thoughts on this. I've fallen on both sides of the debate of whether Rose, and by that count, if it's Rose, well, then it's anybody else who's gambled on the sport too that may have had the kind of career that warrants going into the Hall of Fame. So we definitely need to talk about that while we go throughout the show, and we'll speak with Grant about this as well. Now, keep in mind too, like all of our opinions, it's great to have those opinions about this Hall of Fame debate. The only people's opinions that really matter for this are the 16 people that are going to be on the special era committee, the historical era committee, when this actually comes together in 2027 December. That's the earliest that Rose and anybody else that's on this permanently ineligible list can be voted on. It's their opinions that matter. So I think it'll be interesting to look at the people who were on the committee this last year, because these are some of Rose's contemporaries that probably were not all that fired up about the idea that this guy bet on baseball. All right, let's break here for a moment on halftime. We got Grant Hall standing by in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's halftime.
I think it's your girlfriend called.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, home of the Lewis Guarantee.
Davalon, a swing and a drive into right field. Back going Humphrey. Humphrey's at the wall, and it's gone. Davalon's hit his second home run of the game. Maxwell, a high fly ball to deep left. Could be trouble. Rigdon's at the wall. Get out of here. Maxwell's hit the second home run of the inning.
Listen to every Razorback baseball game on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
This one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Mandy White Perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Taco Bell brought back crispy chicken nuggets, and I can't believe how good they are.
Why can't you believe it?
Because you're Taco Bell. Taco Bell.
Yeah, but a taco place can do nuggets, right?
Yeah, the Hidden Valley Fire Ranch is awesome.
Okay, they're good, but we're not a chicken place.
When did you guys become a chicken place?
Chicken? Can't a taco place do good nuggets? Are we not allowed to do both?
What do you mean?
You think it's cool to do both, right? Why are you looking at me like that?
Are they okay?
I don't think so.
We're totally a taco place that's a chicken place that's also a taco place.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Take that all day.
I need to sit though.
Finally make a putt. Let's go tap in pars.
Golf is back. Shop polos, hoodies, and Q-zips at Rhoback.com.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing and we're into the NBA and NHL playoffs, and BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from the MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC, BetOnline remains the best online source for all your sports wagering information. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. Bet online. The game starts here.
Since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
You're everlasting summer, you can see it, baby. So you grab a piece of something that you think is gonna last. Well, you wouldn't even know the time that you held it in your hand. The things you think are precious, I can't understand.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
He called into the show on Monday because he had something to say. He didn't want to wait until Wednesday, and here he is. Grant Hall is on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. He's in Charlotte, North Carolina. Everybody spends time in the Charlotte airport if you travel enough. Grant, how's it going today?
Well, it's going well, and I apologize if you're hearing people being paged in the background. We just landed here. It's partly cloudy. It's rained, I think, 3.6 inches here in the last 5 days, and so there was some concern, about the PGA, but I think it's supposed to rain some maybe tomorrow, maybe Saturday, but they've got that great sub-air system that Augusta has. The greens, even though they had all this rain, the greens were still firm yesterday. The fairways were pretty sloshy. So I'm hoping it's going to be a good 4 days starting tomorrow for the PGA.
You want to handicap Rory's chances at the second leg of the Grand Slam?
Well, I think they're really good, and they're getting better the more that this rain. It's a big ballpark anyway. A long golf course, probably favoring guys like him and Scotty Scheffler. I think Justin Thomas is one here. DeChambeau obviously hits it a long way. I think maybe guys like that, especially with the conditions, it should favor. Now, I heard Hal Sutton say this morning he thinks Tommy Fleetwood is a dark horse. So you can get a lot of opinions, but it should be fun, and it really is pretty. This course, I got to come here in 2017 when Justin Thomas won, and looking forward to seeing it again after a while.
What's the Grant? What's the defense like to plot your way around Quail Hollow? Do you got to be able to bomb it? You short irons. What's kind of the way you have to go about it to win out there?
Yeah, I think that's it, Matt. I think it's going to play 75 or 7,600 yards, and so they've got the famous Green Mile. The last 3 holes are very tough: 16, 17, and 18. There's a drivable par 4 in there. I think it's 14 maybe. That they were showing yesterday. While they were showing it, Daniel Berger knocked one on the green, and Keegan Bradley knocked one on the green. And interestingly, Keegan Bradley's playing with a couple of guys that are possible selections, possible members of the Ryder Cup. So he's going to do some scouting this week. We got a couple of Arkansas kids, Taylor Moore and Nico Echeverria, and they're both going off early. I mean, I think they're going off at 7:14 and 7-something in the morning. So we'll know pretty quickly tomorrow morning how they might be doing. Not sure either one of them has that kind of length we're talking about, but Taylor's an outstanding medium to long iron player, so that should help him here.
Hey, Grant, you got plans to go to Oakmont for the U.S. Open? You going out? I don't know where the British Open is being held, but are you headed out there too? Because it would be kind of fun to have your own personal Grand Slam this year.
Yeah, I heard you invite a listener the other day to stay with your parents. So if you can work that out for me, actually, we've got my wife and I. Her niece lives there, so we were talking about that this morning. That might be a possibility, but probably only if Rory wins. I mean, if Rory has a chance for the Grand Slam, then that'd be pretty cool to see those. I don't think I would get to the British Open this year, though.
You and Howard Elson would get along famously, Grant. We get along well. I think you and my father would have a great time sitting up late and telling stories about the old Cardinals versus the Yankees, because that would have been his team back in the day. I'm going to try to think. I'm going to think on this. If I could picture, though, you only do this if you sleep in the room that I grew up in. That's the only way you're going to pull this off. Is in you sleep in the bed that I slept in as a kid.
Yeah, that's. It's interesting. The Cardinals, I think, are playing 2 against Philadelphia today and riding a 9-game winning streak. And so, who knows? Maybe the rainout came at a good time last night because they've won their last 2 doubleheaders. The Cardinals have, and I'm not sure how they're doing that. Well, I am, but they're getting good starting pitching, probably better than we Cardinal followers thought they would get this year. And the hitting's not bad, so. Who knows? They haven't played like juggernaut teams, but they did beat Philadelphia once and New York twice in this 9-game winning streak.
I think they beat the Pirates a few times in there too, and I'm not sure if that should count for a winning streak, but it's okay. It's okay if it does.
Well, the Pirates have a new manager. I noticed they lost theirs along the way, right?
Yeah, Donnie Kelly. He went to the same little NAIA school downtown that I finished at, Point Park College. He's got to be the only, I don't know of any major leaguers that ever went to that tiny little school. The Pioneers. It's downtown. The field that school plays at is an hour away in Butler, Pennsylvania. I mean, that's where the Pirates manager played college ball at a school that was so small that his home field was an hour away from campus. So, but it's a cool story.
It's a small world. I sat next to a guy this morning on the plane named Isaiah Jones, who's a starting linebacker for Indiana. And, they lost to Ohio State 27-17 last year to go 11-2, right? And their coach, Kurt Cignetti, came from James Madison, where my son-in-law played. But this kid's from Columbus, Ohio, and somehow he got away from Ohio State. And they got an outstanding defense coordinator named Brian Hayes. I can tell you a lot about Indiana football now after talking to this kid, but he was here for a wedding with some friends, and he met Drake Lindsay, who's going to be the quarterback from Minnesota this next year. I don't think they play Minnesota this year. I think they play them next year. I believe that's right. But he got to see some of Arkansas's facilities and was just raving about how big Razorback Stadium is. I've never seen Indiana's stadium. I've taken it's not that big, but so I was asking him about the Big Ten spots, and he said that of Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State was the loudest. And of course they get like 111,000 in there or something like that when they play football. But he was describing this one play where they had a 65-yard punt return, but there were two blocks in the back. But the fans didn't know it, and he said that was the loudest single thing he'd ever heard in football.
Speaking of Big Ten, did you see Brett Bielema got in a 6-year contract extension? Takes him through the 2030 season. I think he's making close to, is it $10 million, or maybe $9 million to $10 million? And
yeah, his name came up in that conversation along with Barry Lunny Jr., obviously, who's been up there with him as his offensive coordinator. Yeah, salaries are getting on up there, aren't they?
Well, they are, but it's also, I mean, is he just made for the Big Ten and not the SEC? It's like it worked at Wisconsin. It didn't work at Arkansas. It looked for a moment there like you might have gotten things in the right direction, but things kind of crumbled the last year. And now at Illinois, I mean, it's not like they've competed yet for a Big Ten championship or making it to the playoff, but heck, I mean, last year is one of their best seasons in a long, long time, and Brett certainly has got Illinois in a place that I don't remember them being for a long time.
Yeah, well, good for Brett Bielema. I think he was 29-34, maybe something like that at Arkansas. Couldn't quite, but I mean that if you compare that to, for example, to the Chad Morris era, then that looked pretty good, right?
Yeah, it did. He was 29-34 at Arkansas. Of course, the SEC record was pretty poor. 28-22 at Illinois, but it's a 10-win season that gets it for him. It's his first 10-win season since 2011 at Wisconsin, and the best he did at Arkansas was 1 8-win year, and that took a Liberty Bowl win to get the 8th win. So, hey, I'm happy for him and happy for the rest of the guys on that staff that are Razorbacks, because it means that they've got some stability, and that's good for them.
And that Wisconsin thing, I think, actually was an 11-1. They beat Arkansas, in the bowl game, but very close game down in Florida. Covered that guy. Actually covered Bielema quite a bit that week. I was on the visitors covering him, and so I got to know him a little bit before he came to Arkansas. But good for him getting that contract.
Hey, I need your opinion on this. Pete Rose is not a guarantee to go into the Hall of Fame with him being now taken. Well, it's not taken off the permanently ineligible list. All it is a change in wording in what it means to be permanently ineligible. It means you're not really permanently ineligible. It's just up to the end of your life. And here's the thing I'm thinking of this, Grant. There's 6 players that are going to be on the committee that vote whether or not Rose and all the other Black Sox, if they're part of this, if they're candidates. And you think of all of the guys that are on this committee that followed the rules before. We have all sorts of people that have opinions about Pete Rose, and I think a lot of times they come from a fan's perspective. when you're coming from the player's perspective and people that followed the rules, I think you look at things maybe a little bit differently. I mean, just look at a couple of Rose's former teammates with the Reds. Tony Perez says he belongs in because he finally came clean after 30 years of lying about it. Johnny Bench says no, he doesn't belong in there. It's really going to matter of who are the players that are on this committee when they convene in 2027.
You know, Phil, I talked to actually some of the guys from the 1985 Arkansas team when they were here for this reunion not that many days ago, and about this very thing. And the consensus was that they thought he would go in now, Rosewood, now that he is not with us anymore. If it was a lifetime ban, then his lifetime is over. And they kind of thought he would go in. And I think that's what probably the commissioner thinks. I don't know if he's said that, in so many words. So I think, and I mean, you're talking to someone who saw him play and saw him. I think I've told you this before, but one time he was playing left field in Atlanta, and he threw a ball from the warning track to the plate on the fly, and he threw it with such force that he fell over backwards. I mean, he did a front tumble after he threw it. Now Pete could be theatrical too, but I'll never forget that play as a symbol of how hard the guy played. Now, the gambling thing, look at where baseball is now in terms of things they wink at with gambling that they never used to. I mean, is that a factor to you, how baseball's almost in bed with gambling now?
Yeah, I don't know if that is a factor for me, just because the rules are still the same. If you're a member of a team, if you're a manager, if you're a coach, if you're a player, if you're an executive, if you're a broadcaster, and you put money on a game of professional baseball, you are breaking the rules now, and that hasn't changed. Even with the fact that there's a sports book inside the ballpark the Reds play in, the fact remains the same. Gambling on baseball is still banned for those who are part of the game.
Well, that's interesting. It's interesting that Bench feels that way too. But
it's just nuanced. I think that's what it is. It's a little nuanced, and I think sometimes if we come just from the position of the fan, that's not how the people on the committee are going to be looking at it. There are members of the media that will look at it from a very strict perspective, and executives too. I mean, it's people that have been writing or covering baseball for 30 years plus, executives that have been doing the same thing from an executive position for 30 years plus, and Hall of Fame players that put their life into the sport and followed the rules at the same time. So that's my whole point. We all have our opinions about this, but our opinions really aren't the ones that matter, Grant. That's what I'm saying.
And the 4,256 hits. Does that change anyone's mind relative to, let's say, he had 3,000 hits or something? Are they, and all these guys that in the steroid era, the Alex Rodriguez guy, all those guys, are they eventually going to get? In other words, if Pete gets in, will somehow that relax people's feelings about the steroid era?
Mm-hmm. Well, that'll end up being the next nuanced thing. The only thing is that nobody was banned from the sport for their entire lives for this. It was a 1-year thing with A-Rod and a couple of the others. It's just, I don't think you can. I wouldn't view the gambling thing in the same way I view the steroids thing. These are two different topics, and see what I mean? It turns into a nuanced conversation that you could end up doing 3 or 4 hours on here on a sports radio program, but we don't want to do that.
Which we don't want to do today, because I got to go get my baggage out of there before somebody else claims it.
Well, go get that stuff, Grant. We don't want you to lose your luggage. Air tags help if that ever happens, though, okay?
Okay.
You got it.
All
Grant
right.
Hall with us from Grant Hall with us from Charlotte. Always appreciate his time. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive hotline. Yeah, I've learned if you get some air tags or whatever it is you can use to track something, put it in your luggage when you're traveling, you'll thank me later. You'll also thank me later if you got kids, you want a good time tonight. Joe's Grilling Cantina, Wednesday nights. It is kids' night. Kids get a delicious meal for $5. You got a coloring contest. Joe's bringing out their own crayons for it. Kids win cool prizes, and it's karaoke night at Joe's Grilling Cantina every Wednesday. Kids have fun, and it's a great meal as well for just $5 for the kids. You'll find Joe's Grilling Cantina at 3400 South 74th, right across from Harps in Fort Smith. Joe'sFortSmith.com. Back in a moment. Halftime continues.
Pain don't hurt.
This is Halftime.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? SafeStep walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-731-4558 and save $1,600. SafeStep walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. SafeStep walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-731-4558 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-731-4558 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. SafeStep walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
More taxes. Road Chevrolet in Van Buren will pay your state sales tax on select 24 and 25 model Chevrolets. Stop in today and check out the great selection from Road Chevrolet, and your state sales tax is paid. But you better hurry because this deal won't last long. Stop in and test drive your dream car, truck, or SUV and get your state sales tax paid. That means huge savings and more cash back into your pocket. Experience the roads difference. Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren, where you get the best prices, period.
Budweiser, the American lager. A time-honored recipe, true to our original process, brewed using the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt, delivering great quality beer since 1876. Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Old Ford Days action begins Memorial Day, and the Old Ford Days official merchandise is ready for you at Jelco Outdoors. Ball caps, t-shirts, koozies, drinkware, and more. Check out the selection of cowboy hats, boots, shirts, and belts. Hot buys on Ariat and Wrangler jeans. Buy 2 pair and get a 3rd pair free. Plus a free Old Ford Days rodeo cap with purchase. Go to the Old Ford Days Rodeo in style. Check out the Old Ford Days official merchandise at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
At Wave Rural Connect, our mission's simple: improve the quality of life in our communities. We've expanded to several non-member areas to help new communities. If you live in areas near Altus, Branch, Coxville, Mountainburg, Murray, Spur, or Ozark, Wave Rural Connect may be available to you right now. Check availability online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Wave Rural Connect will continue opening new areas throughout 2025.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Forest Grid Incorporated, a company known for paying top wages and benefits, has immediate openings for equipment operators, pipe layers, concrete finishers, and laborers. For nearly 90 years, Forest Grid has built the foundations of the River Valley, and now you can become a part of that legacy. Apply now from any device at GoForestGrid.com. That's GoForestGrid.com. Do you finally want to get paid well for your work? Do you want to work for a company that treats you like family? Apply now at GoForestGrid.com. Forest Grid Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I'm just mad about saffron. Saffron's mad about me. I'm just mad about saffron. She's just mad about me. They call me Mellow Yellow, quite frankly. They call me Mellow Yellow, quite frankly. They call me Mellow Yellow. I'm just mad about 14. 14's mad about me. I'm but just mad about 14. She's just mad about me. They call me Mellow.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I heard an ad for it from the Arkansas Beef Council on our station yesterday. The finalists from the 5 regions in Arkansas for Best Burger in the state of Arkansas was released yesterday by the Arkansas Beef Council. Matt, do you have a favorite burger in the state? Is there a place?
Yeah, there's a big orange place down there in Little Rock that's pretty good. There's a George's here in Fort Smith. Brahms is okay, like as far as for your price you get, and then Five Guys is pretty good.
I have a tough time driving on I-40 if I ever go past CJ's.
Yeah,
Man, I got to stop at CJ's. The Burger Box in Little Rock by the state capitol. I don't know if it's even open anymore, but I'm already drooling thinking about that place. But here are the finalists. Region 1, Ozark Farmhouse in Clinton, just their regular cheeseburger, which looks like it's a skyscraper. Johnson Country Cookin' in Melbourne, that's a Big Daddy burger, also looks like a skyscraper. E&R Bar and Grill in El Dorado, the Pickleback Burger, which has a bunch of fried pickles on it with bacon and Swiss cheese. Maybe I should have done this after I ate, Matt. Bama's Diner in Pine Bluff, the Bubba Burger, and the Sweet Hot Burger at Copper Grill in Little Rock are all finalists. And I haven't had any of those yet, so I don't know. Maybe it's time to do some research. Took the kids to the Faded Rose last night. They have a great burger. Didn't get it. Went with the New Orleans barbecued shrimp. Ooh. It's just a bunch of shrimp swimming in seasoned butter. Does it get any better than that?
Whenever you grill a burger at your house, because that's just as good as any of them, I think, going out to get one, what are some of the fixings or toppings that you have to have on your burger?
Everything. I don't want a skyscraper of meat. I want a skyscraper of all the other
tomato,
flavors.
lettuce, onion, pickle, mustard. Like you want the works.
The thing that I think you could add to a burger that really makes it pop is the blue cheese. You don't even need any other condiments on it because the blue cheese takes care of itself. But a big old, and I mean tangy, just crawling with the blue veins kind of cheese on a medium rare burger with a toasted bun. Now we're talking. That's the kind of thing that Jimmy Buffett should be writing a new song about. Well, I don't think he's writing much music.
He might have wrote it. It's just we'll have to get to it in our next life.
Yeah, that's right. There's a lot of great cheeseburgers in heaven, Matt. Yes. There better be.
They got this horseradish cheddar that you can get. Same concept. I think it kind of spicy a little bit, but absolutely.
Let's go to the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Big Keith. What's up, Big Keith? How are you?
He's up in the house. What's going on, Phil?
Dude, that was quite a house. You're feeling it today.
Oh, yeah. What's up, Matt?
Yo.
Hey, guys. My favorite is a good old mushroom Swiss.
Now, that's a good classic, too.
Yeah, that's a good one. Hey, I got an opinion on this Pete Rose thing, okay?
Shoot.
I always thought he should have been in it a long time ago not as a manager though, but as a player, because his hits wasn't aided by steroids, and it was legit, his hits, and far as the steroid stuff, I think steroids is worse because Pete Rose's games only affected the games he was in. The steroid thing affected the whole league. Every player had cheated against the records and the abilities and all that stuff. So it's a different thing, in my opinion. But anyways, so that's my opinion, and I'm really glad they changed that a little bit. And again, I'm calling the Hogs sweep all 3 games this weekend.
Man, and Keith, I love your confidence about a sweep. I really do.
All right, buddy, and go get them, girls, for the softball. Have a good day.
Thanks, Big Keith. It's good to hear from you. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive hotline. I just want to dig into that a little bit here. You know, the Rose can't be connected to the steroid scandal, obviously, but you also can't separate his career as a player and a manager when you're talking about the Hall of Fame. Now, I think that that's happened before, where you have nobody voted for Joe Torre as a Hall of Fame third baseman. Now, he probably did get some votes because he had a really good career, but he went in pretty quickly when it came to being a manager. You say the same thing for Tony La Russa. You know, La Russa didn't have a career as a player worth writing home about. As a manager, absolutely. Just thinking of other players here, you know, the managerial aspect, they were already in the Hall of Fame by the time they were hired as a manager. Thinking of Ted Williams. Can't think of any others, really. Frank Robinson, I don't think he was a Hall of Famer by the time he took his first managerial job with Cleveland. But I don't think that now that's an interesting way to look at it too, Big Keith, because if you're looking just at Rose as a player, you know, there might have been rumors about gambling or anything, but there was never evidence of the gambling slips like there was when he was a manager. So if you're looking to split the difference here, well, there's one aspect and a way to do it. The thing with steroids that I think you got to wonder about in the back of your mind, how many times did a hitter who might have been using steroids face a pitcher that was using something too? And so in that aspect, who has an edge? Is there an edge? When you have two athletes facing each other in a one-on-one battle where they're both using something that you could say is an unnatural advantage. Well, is there really an advantage then? Just think of any at-bat that Pete Rose might have had against, or not Pete Rose, that Barry Bonds might have had against Roger Clemens in an interleague game circa 2001 or 2002. I mean, these if we're looking for reasons why you're keeping somebody out, when you just go, well, they had an unnatural advantage, but is there an unnatural advantage when a hitter on steroids faces a pitcher that's also on steroids? And the other aspect too, and you got to look at these things differently. The Pete Rose situation was centered in just on him, and as the number one golden rule that you must follow as anybody connected to the game of baseball. There was no large conspiracy that was built around Rose's gambling habit. With the steroids, this was an industry-wide thing. That's my whole point of a couple years ago when Bud Selig goes into the Hall of Fame, and I'm over here screaming. It's like, well, we're going to keep all the players who were connected to the steroid scandal out, but the guy who ran the league then, who also ran the league when they canceled a World Series, who was a former owner of a team, you're going to tell me that they had no idea that there were players that were utilizing illegal PEDs? Of course they did. But we're going to look past the owner and the guy who was the commissioner and enshrine him, but not the players who were connected to it. And it's an industry-wide thing with baseball then. It's not an industry-wide thing with gambling. So it's just, you know, that's why I'm saying you can't treat these situations identically. They're different. And you get Tyler say, yeah, you want to talk about Doc Ellis, right? Doc Ellis was the one who threw the no-hitter on LSD. I still can't figure out how you could even throw a pitch even remotely straight if you're on anything like that. But I guess that's a whole different situation. And Justin asked, did Pete Rose bet on games he played in? He bet on games that he managed. He bet on games that he managed. There's evidence of this. And whether or not he bet on them to win or not, that's not the point. Is that when you're betting on a game, you're betting on the line, and you're also making a heavy emphasis on that game specifically. You could end up utilizing a pitcher in a way that you wouldn't utilize a pitcher if you didn't have $1,500 or $20,000 on it or whatever. It doesn't matter if you bet on the games that you played in or that you bet on your team to win. It's just the act of betting on the sport. It's in every clubhouse. It's right there. It's in bolder, bigger letters than anything else that's on the walls in the clubhouse. No betting on baseball. Stick around with us on Halftime. We'll be back to wrap up hour number one after this.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Nobody. This is Halftime.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
It's all about connections. Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center with Shared Beginnings invites you to their Community Connections event on Saturday, May 17th from 10 to 2. Everyone is invited to a fun-filled, action-packed day with vendors, food, car seat demonstrations, mommy makeovers, giveaways, games, and lots of fun. For more information about this event or to participate as a vendor, call 452-2260. Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center with Shared Beginnings, the Community Connection event, May 17th.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Forsgren Incorporated, a company known for paying top wages and benefits, has immediate openings for equipment operators, pipe layers, concrete finishers, and laborers. For nearly 90 years, Forsgren has built the foundations of the River Valley, and now you can become a part of that legacy. Apply now from any device at GoForsgren.com. That's GoForsgren.com. Do you finally want to get paid well for your work? Do you want to work for a company that treats you like family? Apply now at GoForsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Hungry for a meal that's more than just food? At 46 Steakhouse in Alma, Adam and Brooke Daly are serving up tradition with every bite. Hand-cut steaks, including their massive 46-ounce ribeye, juicy chicken, and hand-breaded catfish. Plus, every meal comes with those famous hot rolls and honey butter that folks cannot stop talking about. At 46 Steakhouse, they're ready to make your family feel right at home. 46 Steakhouse, 108 Highway 71 next to Harps in Alma. 46 Steakhouse, where every meal is a masterpiece.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
I see moon rising. I see trouble on the way. I see some lightning. I see bad times today. Don't go around tonight, but if I take your flag, there's a bad moon on the right.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
We got a lot of folks who texted in their favorite burgers include blue cheese, but then there's also Tyler in Winslow, who compares blue cheese to being the, quote, hell of all dipping sauces, or ranch, he says, too. He thinks that the blue cheese sauce is going to be the cause of the zombie apocalypse at some point because it's all moldy. I would say you haven't had the right blue cheese, Tyler, but then I would probably think you'd hate the right blue cheese too. It's too bad. I could eat blue cheese straight without anything else. Don't need the burger for it. The burger just kind of highlights some of the flavors and the creaminess of it really, really well. Maybe you ought to try, Tyler, if you partake in vodka or gin martinis, you need to do the blue cheese stuffed olive, which now that I think of it, blue cheese stuffed olives on a burger with purple onions, do you need anything else? I don't think you need anything else. Matt, I think I've just invented the perfect brand new burger. We don't need anything else on it. Don't need any salt, no pepper. You don't need any other condiments. All you need is blue cheese, olives, purple onions, and some courage.
Man, that sounds wonderful. I like to get the garlic stuffed olives on the side, almost like if you were to have a pickle or whatever. And then, depending on the burger, sometimes you don't do bacon, sometimes you do. Kind of what it's a little bit situational. When you only eat about 6 burgers a year, you kind of want to make sure the burger you're eating is the way you want it.
Now, why do we even do burgers without cheese on it? Unless you're keeping kosher, or unless you're lactose intolerant. Why is there such a thing as a cheeseless burger? Can anybody give me like a real logical answer to this? Again, if it's dietary laws, and I know plenty of people who never tasted a cheeseburger, but they also never put bacon on a burger, and they certainly never eat shrimp or lobster or clams or oysters. And I feel bad for them, but I would also say, why are we, unless it's dietary laws or you can't digest dairy, why are we not putting cheese on every burger, Matt? These things should kind of work together. I'm just here to help.
Choir. Yeah, no, I amen.
It's
a must. That and onions.
Why is it even an option on the menu? It could be understood. You don't have to see that there's a hamburger option to know. You can ask somebody to just not put cheese on the burger. But I don't know, at some point, somebody invented putting cheese on the burger, and it made everything 100% better.
Now, I know it's a big-time burger thing, and I could talk burgers. I think we all could for the next 2 hours. But you got to have a potato with it, right? What type of fried potato do you go with your burger? Are you just okay with, like, I'm just going to eat string fries, potato wedges? Got to have some fries.
Am I allowed to just eat a bag of Doritos with it?
Absolutely, you are.
That's good.
It's not a potato. I mean, it's just kind of going off script here a little bit.
Bacon on a burger is so good.
Is that a must for you? You got it.
I used to not really.
If it's an option, you want to put bacon on it.
I used to not really care that much about it, and then I started trying bacon on a burger, and it's like, man, what have I been missing?
It's like I remember the fast food restaurants started putting bacon on burgers around the same time they realized that they could do breakfast in the morning too. It was like, wait a minute, you can actually put bacon on a burger? Again, you put cheese on the burger, and that invented something that made it 100% better. Then you put bacon on it. Now it's 1,000% better, and now it's the greatest thing you've ever eaten on earth.
Keep the fungi off the burger, though.
No mushrooms for Matt. Hold the mushrooms for Matt. Don't cut the onions, though. We're going to keep those. They're going to be purple with the blue cheese and the olives and the martini to go with it beforehand, because I can't drink a martini with the burger. These flavors don't mix. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive hotline. We're out of guests. It's you and us. Stay with us for hour number 2.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment, or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Hungry for a meal that's more than just food? At 46 Steakhouse in Alma, Adam and Brooke Daly are serving up tradition with every bite. Hand-cut steaks, including their massive 46-ounce ribeye, juicy chicken, and hand-breaded catfish. Plus, every meal comes with those famous hot rolls and honey butter that folks cannot stop talking about. At 46 Steakhouse, they're ready to make your family feel right at home. 46 Steakhouse, 108 Highway 71 next to Harps in Alma. 46 Steakhouse, where every meal is a masterpiece.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Sportsman's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
The Solid Rock has been locally owned for over 46 years. When was the last time you were there? So much more than a bookstore. They have Christian t-shirts, church supplies, Bible studies, devotionals, home decor, gifts, and of course, a large selection of Bibles. And Bibles are engraved free of charge while you wait. Now, you can get custom laser engraving on select gift items and some Bibles. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th, The Solid Rock is your source for faith-based books, music, clothing, and more. The Solid Rock, 452-4844.
Got a pest? Call West. If you have pest or termite problems in your home, call West today and learn how their 50 years combined experience can help solve your problems with competitive pricing and quality services, all designed with your pets and children in mind. Call today and schedule your free estimate. They even offer Saturday services and long life attic pest control. Call 782-7291. West Termite and Pest Control, protecting your home health and peace of mind.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon, upper 80s to lower 90s. Tonight, partly cloudy, and overnight low will drop down upper 60s to lower 70s. Plenty of sunshine with us on Thursday, a high into the lower 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Cop CDL Academy. Call them today at 479-632-1050. Cop CDL Academy. Expanding horizons.
KBRX Paris Fort Smith. You're listening to ESPN 95.3.
Home runs are good. Home runs score runs quick.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. Well, ask me if I'm all right. Well, can't they dominate? And we not doing it. We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field. Well, Bill said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. My heart, dog. Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
What they were one Razorback.
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Welcome back in. Halftime continues 1 minute after 12 o'clock. I'm Phil Elson with Matt Jones and Christian Johnston in our producer's chair. We are out of guests for the remainder of the show. This is usually when Hall of Famer Clay Henry joins us, but he is, I'm assuming, somewhere on Interstate 55 headed south towards Lake Pontchartrain. And we'll get back with Clay next week, so you can get with us any moment. Lewis Automotive Hotline is 877-377-6963. A lot of burgers coming in here from our listeners. Matt, Brian says you got to put fried egg with runny yolk on a bacon cheeseburger.
Situational, absolutely. I think Big Orange had one. I know that we'd got some people talking about that restaurant in Little Rock. I used to get that there. They would make that one pretty good.
Matt says blue cheese, jalapenos, and bacon. It's nice and simple, but also really, really good looking. I was looking at the one in Copper Grill, the Sweet Hot Burger, which is one of the 5 finalists for the Arkansas Beef Council. The others are the cheeseburger at the Ozark Farmhouse in Clinton, I checked out the Ozark Farmhouse's menu. That looks like a must-stop kind of a place. Johnson Country Cooking in Melbourne, the Pickleback Burger at E&R Grill and Bar and Grill in El Dorado, the Bubba Burger at Mama's Diner in Pine Bluff, and the Sweet Hot Burger in Little Rock at Copper Grill, which would be the bougie one of the burgers here. Just because the other burgers, all the other restaurants, you click on their menus, and actually they don't have descriptions of the food. They have a photo of it. And the photo of, this would be this is the Pickleback Burger at E&R. Yeah, you can see the pickles. You can see the one slice of lettuce and just 2 big burger patties with bacon and all sorts of Swiss cheese. Here's the Johnson Country Cooking Burger. That is the one that's called the Big Daddy. What do you think a Big Daddy burger looks like?
It probably has a wallet chain. Listens to Zoot Zoot Riot.
Yeah, probably also teaches a kid how to pee on the street, right?
But they would be into the vodka martinis, though, you would think.
Bet you they would. This looks like it is 3 of the largest burger patties you've ever seen in your life. If there's a person that can eat this burger, 3 hand patty burgers, 3 pieces of cheese, 3. And it's not just hand patty burger. There's a difference between, like the one you usually get.
Yep.
Exactly. This is, the smash burger. Usually you would say, well, the smash burger is because it was smashed and
it's
seared
a double patty,
on the
but
grill.
it's like one. Yeah.
This is a smash burger that smashes you when you're trying to digest it. But the Copper Grill burger, it's just like, can this one really win? It might really. I'm sure it tastes great, but the way it's described. 2 4-ounce patties topped with pimento cheese. I can do pimento cheese. Bacon jam, Millionaire's bacon, arugula, and sriracha on a local brioche bun served with fries. So there's about 4 different words on that description of the burger, which may be a little bit too bougie to win the award for the state of Arkansas.
Don't you think if it costs $27, it can't win? I mean, how is that? How much? I want to know how much that burger costs.
It's an $18 burger.
Yeah, man.
Goes along with your $10 shake now, right? I hear they make a tasty burger. Matt, I do not see Big Kahuna Burger on this list. What's going on?
It's a vegetarian joint, so that must be why.
Must be what it is. 877-377-6963. That's right. Nothing more American than debating whether or not Pete Rose belongs in the Hall of Fame and eating a bunch of burgers while you're doing it. We got the tuna burger with us to talk about this.
Tuna burger.
Charlie, what's up?
What's up, fellas? Yeah, man, I will speak for that place in El Dorado real quick. I mean, that's the tuna's area. That's the tuna's home area. I mean,
but is there tuna? Is there a tuna sandwich on the menu? Please be there.
I mean, I mean, look, I would say their burgers are really good. I have actually been to the one in Pine Bluff too. But yeah, man, I definitely would speak for Phil. I'll tell you what, you got to get the crew together, man. You guys come down. You guys go to El Dorado. I don't know why we're doing this, but it's on the tuna. The tuna's tab. I got you guys. Just bring the whole squad. Ty, Tommy, all of you. Yeah, I got you.
We will eat you out of house and home, Charlie. You realize you're asking for people. It's not me. I don't eat that much anymore. Matt Jones has a large appetite. Nobody can eat more than Ty Richardson. Let's get SmackDown back. You remember SmackDown, Matt Jenkins? Let's get him back. He ate Ty under the table. In fact, no, Ty ate him under the table because he figured he was going to have a pre-competition appetizer. You put all those guys together, Charlie, and it's on your tab, you won't be able to pay rent ever again.
I think I got it, man. I got to do it for ESPN Arkansas just one time. And while we're at it, let's just bring Bubba along because I want the bat too. Just bring Bubba. We just need Bubba too. Just bring the whole squad. But yeah, man, it would definitely be fun. I'm excited about this weekend against Phil. I was going to ask you real quick too before I get to that. As they're playing Tennessee this weekend, we were talking about the other day the whole idea of hopefully having if you can, every team I think probably wants to have 3 legitimate starters. I'm just trying to think in the history of the winners that have won the thing, how many teams really legitimately have that, or is it just a guy like a guy steps up, or you bullpen that third game and figure it out? Because I don't remember Florida. Who won it last year? Florida?
Tennessee.
It was Florida. Tennessee. Okay. I don't know if they had 3 legit starters. I do think Arkansas has guys like, to me, Jimenez, man, he's got stuff. And Carter, I think there's guys that are capable of starting. And there's a sleeper. It's hard for him to even break into the rotation. We've had Will McIntyre start games. And I'm not saying that he would do that this year. I don't know when it'll happen, if he does start this year, but I guess if he's needed. He's not hurt or anything, right, Phil?
No.
Will isn't. It's just a matter of, it's really hard to break into this rotation because it's so good. And I think you made a good point about getting Colin back. Not a guy with a lot of velo or anything like that, but man, he can dot up the strike zone. And I was excited when he came in the other day. That had been the first time he had pitched since, like, what did they say, March?
It was the Ole Miss
when
series.
was it?
Oh, it was the South Carolina series.
Yeah, and I think it was cool just to see him come in. It's similar to the A&M thing, which you talked about. And they put him in the pressure situation. Like, they didn't just bring him in a midweek game or whatever. They put him in a situation where, hey, I think it was 1 out, right, and the tying batter was up.
That's
it was
right.
6-3. They had 2 guys on, and he came in there and got the job done. I thought that was really good. Now, I don't know if I would ever see him being like a starter per se, but he's a good pitcher. So that was my question to you, though. Like, has there ever been a time where really it's hard to find even 2 legit starters on a team, right? I mean, once you get to the tournament,
I think Charlie, every team that gets to the College World Series pretty much has 2 starters that they can rely on, and then sometimes they'll piece together the third game.
Yeah.
And I think that was the case with last year's Tennessee team. You have to have 2. You can't. I think it's too much to ask a bullpen to be just. There's a couple aspects of it. One, it's taking one of your relievers on a week-by-week basis and trying him, seeing what sticks up against the wall. And it's difficult because I think pitchers like to get used to a role that they're in, and anybody would want to be a starter, but there's a difference between between wanting to do it and being built up to do it. By now, if you haven't built yourself up to be a starting pitcher and go 5 to 6 innings, it's just kind of rare to pull that off. I don't think McIntyre is going to get looked at as a starter. I think he's right now, just his role is what it is. But I do think that when it comes to a regional, or if you're in Omaha, I think he's going to come up really, really big because depth of a pitching staff is incredibly important in those situations. Jimenez could be the third starter. I don't think there's a doubt about that. I just don't think that they want to take him right now out of the role that he had served, which is someone that they want to get a lead to twice on a weekend. And they gave a lead to him twice this last weekend against LSU, and it's the first time it didn't work out. So in terms of who that third starter can be right now, I'm not really sure who it is. Because if it's Beidelshees, you don't know if you're getting 2, 3, 4 innings, but you're really not getting more than that. And who else? You don't want to take your top reliever and throw him in that role a lot of times. I think they may have done it a couple of weeks ago. But at this point, I just don't know if that's really in the coach's mind's an option. So I don't know who the third starter in that case would be. Who else has started games? Are you going to throw Gabe Gackle back in that position? He just didn't look comfortable there. You're going to try Colin Fisher on a weekend? Well, Colin hasn't really pitched very well in the SEC. Try Tate McGuire in that situation. It's been a little bit of a midweek starter. I doubt they'd give him the ball on a Sunday. Maybe Ben Bybee, but Bybee's gotten hit around the last 2-3 times out. So I don't know what a third starter option would be, or if you stick with what you're doing now, which is keep Beidelshees in that role, and you by the third game of a weekend or a regional, theoretically you should have a couple guys that haven't pitched, 2-3 guys haven't pitched, and they're good, and you got to hit your way out. That's what Sundays are about. That's what the Sunday of a regional can be about too. By that point, you're facing a team that's played one more game than you have. So you're going to have a much better pitching situation than them. For this next series against Tennessee, you got to hit your way out of the last game. That's what last game of a college series usually are about. Thank you, Charlie. Charlie's always joined by his beep at the end of the call. 877-377-6963, our Lewis Automotive hotline. See, and Andy says it's a little late to be tinkering with the starting lineup. And that's true. I think it is a little bit late to be tinkering with the starting rotation. And you had to tinker with it at the end of last season because of the injuries to Mason Molina and then to Brady Tigert. So you were down to throwing something against the wall and seeing what sticks. I do think you got 2 starting pitchers that they feel really good about. Right now, Zach Root, he's going to be consistent. I can't wait to see him against this Tennessee lineup. And I guess the wild card is Gage Wood, because Wood has looked unhittable in a couple of starts, and then there's been the other 2 where he's left a curveball up or he's left other pitches up and it's been knocked over the fence. So right now, we're not sure what you get from Gage Wood. You just know that if he's on, he's going to be really, really good. But I don't think McIntyre will get that opportunity. I think the bus drove past that bus stop last season. I want to remind you about Andy's Frozen Custard. It's lunchtime. You may be at the end of lunch. You're really, really, you got a little bit of room at the end of your lunch, and you're craving something sweet and delicious. Andy's Frozen Custard has the greatest frozen treats around. The Cherry Bash Concrete, something I'm thinking of right now. Frozen custard comes blended with chocolate syrup, maraschino cherries, Heath bar, and almonds. You get that and all sorts of other great frozen treats at Andy's Frozen Custard. They're in all around our listening audience in Northwest Arkansas, in Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock. You can also take home a pick 6 for the weekend or right now. Who knows? Maybe you get 6 people, each one a different flavor. Mix and match 6 of your favorite flavors. It's the perfect treat at Andy's Frozen Custard. Walk up or drive through, they are ready to serve you. Back in a moment as halftime continues.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Sandy White Perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Taco Bell brought back crispy chicken nuggets, and I can't believe how good they are.
Why can't you believe it?
Because you're Taco Bell. Taco Bell.
Yeah, but a taco place can do nuggets, right?
Yeah, the Hidden Valley Fire Ranch is awesome.
Okay, they're good, but we're not a chicken place.
When did you guys become a chicken place?
Chicken? Can't a taco place do good nuggets? Are we not allowed to do both?
What do you mean?
You think it's cool to do both, right? Why are you looking at me like that?
Are they okay?
I don't think so.
We're totally a taco place that's a chicken place that's also a taco place.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge. And when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Take that all day.
I need to sit though.
Finally make a putt. What's a tap in pars?
Golf is back. Shop polos, hoodies, and Q-zips at Rowback.com.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing and we're into the NBA and NHL playoffs, and BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from the MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC, BetOnline remains the best online source for all your sports wagering information. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. Bet online. The game starts here.
exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith, or online at harryrobinson.com.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss. Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Matt, be careful if you ever play the Hollies again. I think it triggers one of our listeners. He says, and I'm not going to call our listener's friend out because I don't want to put his name out here. Says he had a girlfriend named Holly. She was such a bad person he could barely even listen to the Hollies anymore. Although the song you chose is too cool to not listen to, so at least he picked the one he'll hear.
Like your boy Sir Tom Petty. It's like, yeah. We can go somewhere else.
The other day you played one by them too. Didn't you play All the Air You Can Breathe? All the Air I Can Breathe.
That's not Tom Petty.
That's not Tom Petty. That's the Hollies.
Yeah. Okay. I'm cool with the Hollies though. But for our listeners, I'll wait 6 months before I play that one again.
It's too bad. That is a great song. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on our Lewis Automotive Hotline. Let's go to Mark in Springdale. Just got on our hotline here. Mark, what's up? How are you?
Hey, man, I'm hearing some news that Yurchek has fired the local tent company that does our tailgate at Razorback Stadium and hired a company out of Atlanta, raised the rates, and come to find out that his son works at the company in Atlanta. Is that true?
I have no idea. I saw your text on the text line a moment ago. I mean, I can't work to try to confirm that right here on the show. So I don't know the truth of this or not.
Man, that's unbelievable if that's happened.
You're not allowed. Is that like nepotism? Like you're not allowed to do that? Is that what's the big what if the company does better work?
You tell me what the fans in Arkansas would think if a local Arkansas company got fired to hire Yurchek's son's company from Atlanta and raised everybody's rates after everything the Hog fans have been put through with this guy.
Well, Mark, all I'm saying is that right now it's a rumor. I don't know if this is true or not. So it isn't worth me talking about what that means if I don't know if this is true or not. That's my whole point.
Yeah, I was just asking if you could confirm if that's true.
I can try. I can try, but it'll have to wait until later on in the day. But I mean, look, I can appreciate the thought of fans being upset if they're getting, if if you don't have a choice of who it is that you can use for tents, and automatically now the choice is whatever the percentage is higher that you were paying before. And I mean, if there are nepotistic improprieties that people think are happening on here, I can understand why people would be upset about that. But
we
I
all
can't
know
confirm it at the moment.
We all know that everything's going up. Everybody, and as a college football fan, not just of the Arkansas Razorbacks, but as a college sports fan, we all know that we're going to have to pay 20% more over the next 5. I mean, it's just we all kind of understand that, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, I think people are sensitive because it's not just 20% more. It's what happened to the old fans at Baum-Walker Stadium.
I agree with you there. There's like no loyalty. I'm 100% with you there. Fans have been doing something for 17 years, 27 years, and all of a sudden they can't afford it, and you just tell them that hurts me a little bit. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, and now they're doing it at Bud Walton Arena. They're nickel and diamond on every single thing. And they basically just tell fans what they think of them, which is not much. And so I don't know. I was calling to see if you could confirm that. But at the end of the day, I think people are just sensitive because it's just one more thing that the guy's doing to them to make it harder to be a Razorback fan. And the other problem with it is I think it's very short-sighted when you're trying to build generational fan bases. Matt Jones knows what this is like. I grew up here as a Hog fan. You know, you grow up here, you're a Hog fan, and then you're treated like you don't matter at all. And everything you love is just gone. The whole thing's gone. And it's as if the Razorbacks that I love don't exist anymore.
I think the fact, Mark, is that I think the fact is that the college sports that you love doesn't exist anymore, is that it's not the same industry. And this isn't the only place where these prices are going up. I don't think it's a matter of Hunter Yurachek doesn't respect the fans. I think it's a matter of the people who work in college athletics now are between a rock and a hard place where, you know, and in a lot of cases, it's their own fault. It's the school's faults. You know, they're the member institutions of the NCAA. They're the ones that were resisting the change that needed to happen in college sports over these last 10, 15 years, in which you probably would have been able to make some of these changes on an incremental level to where you get used to it at a point where maybe you're not ending up with fans priced out of seats that they've had for so long, or any of the other price increases that are happening. I mean, you're coming from your perspective, and I respect that without any qualifications. I respect where you're coming from, and I can appreciate the thought of people feeling insulted because you feel like you're left behind. And in some cases, you are left behind because of the way that college sports, I think, is forced to run now, which is to jack some of the prices up. And you have to have more money because they have to pay these players. They're going to do this if they're going to be a major athletic institution. Well, they've got to find a way to pay $20.5 million to the athletes for football, both men's and women's basketball and baseball. And unfortunately, Mark, I think what that does in some cases is it leaves some people behind, and that's a tragic not an after aspect of this too, because it's to the forefront of exactly what you're saying. It's not. I don't think it's that the Razorbacks don't exist anymore, Mark. I think college sports is just a completely different entity than it was than what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up going to every Razorback basketball game at Barnhill with my dad. I was fortunate enough to take my son all growing up to ball games, and my son's not going to have the same luxury to do it.
Mm.
You know, my parents' first date, Barnhill Arena basketball game in the 70s. And we've been doing it as part of our life for decades. And now my son won't have the opportunity to do it. because all the tickets in my seat are going to be owned by some corporation. So you can say what you want, but I want to get confirmation on this Yurachek story because that sounds pretty low. But they're not just pricing me out; they're pricing everybody out. And I'm to the point now where I just don't care. Like, it's not the Razorbacks I used to love, so I just don't care. And generations down the road, there's consequences to this because you're done creating generational fan bases that care, that watched the Hogs and cried when they lost when they were little kids. And now nobody cares. So what are we ended up with? Nothing. The Razorbacks are dead. It's an imposter they put on the floor. And the kids that are playing, I mean, they're doing what they got to do, but they're not Razorbacks. They're going to turn around next year and play for LSU. So what difference does it make to me if the kid that's going to be at LSU, I'm supposed to cheer for now? I mean, it just doesn't make it, like, what is it? It's not even real. So, but I'm interested to know about the tailgating deal because it would just be more salt in the wound, totally tone deaf. And if true, and I would like for you guys to figure that out and let us know, if that's true, I think it'd be worth the fans knowing about. Anyway, thanks for the time.
Thank you, Mark. I think the way Mark details this, if you follow the history of professional sports, the same thing happened in pro sports, is happening in college sports now. More money to athletes, and the athletes in pro sports were getting screwed for decades. Screwed. Better pay for athletes. You end up pricing people out of the game. The atmosphere that you experienced in Major League Baseball games or NFL games or NBA or NHL in the 80s and 90s is different now. It's the prices are much different now, and that's happening in college sports too. It just happened about 30 years after it happened in pro sports. Want to put you onto Rowback. It's the brand that redefines comfort. Best hoodies, best joggers, all the best polos and performance tees. Rowback features the best fabric quality anywhere. Everything they make is buttery soft, stretchy in all the right ways, and amazingly comfortable. The softest hoodie you'll own is the Rowback hoodie. And if you pair it with Sprint joggers, you're golden. These are lightweight, breathable, super soft, and perfect for this time of the year. Check out the spring golf collection as well at rowback.com. You can get 20% off your first order by using the code RUSH25 at checkout. That's rowback.com, RHOBACK.com. Code RUSH25 at checkout. 877-377-6963, our Lewis Automotive hotline. We'll be right back, taking your calls, reading your texts.
Okay, I'll eat liver, raw liver, if we win this game Saturday.
This is halftime.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 1-800-983-6530. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-983-6530 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 1-800-983-6530 right now to schedule your vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-983-6530 now. This advertisement is paid for by Heritage for the Blind.
Mungo like candy.
This is halftime.
Hey, Ty Richardson, I want to update you what's going on with JamMart, and there are 5 locations in Arkansas. The Greenwood location has just implemented state-of-the-art gas dispensers. Come by and see them in Bulldog Country, next to Jules Bakery. You know I love the full-service deli in JamMart number 10. I'm excited to announce that the Phoenix location is getting one too. If you haven't already, make sure to download the JamMart Rewards app. Become a member and start saving today. JamMart, the leading gas station and convenience store in the region.
For 38 years, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts has been trusted as your one-stop for all your vehicle's needs. Key draining your battery? Get a great deal on a Superstart battery and any of the products you need for the do-it-yourself upkeep of your car or truck. When you need work done, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts does everything from oil changes, brakes, alignments, diagnostic work, air conditioning, and more. That's Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts in downtown Mansfield, open from 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday until 1 o'clock on Saturdays.
Picture it. It's a day like any other. You're stuck in traffic on Rogers Avenue during rush hour. You're just ready to get home and relax with your family. And then, just like that, your life can change in an instant. And you're going to need a lawyer to make it right. I'm Phil Votaw with Phil Votaw & Associates. If this happens to you, call me, 479-434-6200, or online at votawlaw.com. I'm Phil Votaw, and you've never met a lawyer like me.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're looking for the best used car your money can buy, check out our great selection of road-ready certified vehicles with warranty. If you're trading or selling your car, let us give you a free second opinion and leave with a check in your hand. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in the Meineke Car Care Center. Plus, follow us on Facebook for special offers and fun contests. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Diamond line, lover boy. We move in space with minimum wage, maximum joy. City life, business life. When you require street car design for higher height. Place for beginners or sensitive heart.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend, Matt Jones.
I appreciate those who view themselves as journalists at our ESPN Arkansas headquarters. The one and only Colton Little has done a little bit of legwork. I never think about LinkedIn because I can't stand social media. So I know I've got a LinkedIn, but I don't think I've been on it in a long, long time. But Colton did a little legwork. What'd you find out, Colton, about this this tent situation? Some folks apparently, if you just missed, we had a call from Mark. He heard a rumor that Arkansas Athletics has fired the local tent company and gone with one that's in Atlanta and are going to be jacking prices up, and that Hunter Yurichek's son was working for the company. But Colton went and did some legwork. What'd you find?
So this is in response to a tweet that was tweeted out by a known popular person in the Razorback Twitter sphere saying, why did Hunter end our long-standing tailgating provider contract with NWA-based Intents, INTENTS, funny, party rentals in lieu of Atlanta-based Revel XP, where his son worked as an account executive, and then promptly raised the tailgating prices 20 to 30% year per year every year. So the tailgating prices have been raised. That is fact number one that I could find. Fact number two is that Jake Yurachek, Hunter Yurachek's son, did work as an account executive at Revel XP from January 2022 through June of 2022 in Dallas-Fort Worth. And then lastly, I can also say that Razorback Athletics partners with Revel XP to elevate fan tailgating experiences on game day. That is a direct headline from a June 17th, 2022 post on ArkansasRazorbacks.com.
Yeah, I know they've had a relationship with this Revel company for a long time. You can see their signs out there at like the tent behind the main entrance to Ball and Walker. I've seen their signs at football games too. So it isn't a new relationship with this organization, and it's also a company that I've seen at a lot of other college events around the SEC. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it is something that they seem to specialize in and have that kind of industry respect.
And this is the final fact that I could find. Jake Yurachek no longer works as an account executive at Revel XP. He's now the Associate Director of Athletics Development at Southern Methodist University. So he's back in the athletics game now as opposed to being an account executive. He stopped that in June 2022, which coincidentally is around the same time. So, Phil, you said it off the air. People want that to be true.
Well, I think some do. You have your mind made up about the athletics director, and you see a rumor that looks like it could be nefarious, and I do think there are some who want that to be true, but it doesn't sound like it's true. Sounds like it's true that the company is being hired and that prices will go up, but nepotism's not a reason why. I think it's a matter of going with somebody who might be viewed as an industry standard in this case, somebody who's not local. And I know there'll be people, Arkansans that would want to work with somebody local. And it's probably another aspect of more revenue. I mean, that's just a reality of the situation here. We got to go to the phones. We got a few lined up. 877-377-6963. Our Lewis Automotive hotline. Larry is first. Hi, Larry. How are you?
Hey, yeah, I just wanted to comment a little bit more about the situation. Now, I read on Jake Yurachek's biography on the SMU Athletic website, and this says whenever he was at Revel XP for only 6 months, he was selling premium hospitality solutions for Auburn, North Carolina State, Virginia Tech, and the Atlanta Falcons, which that doesn't seem like Arkansas Razorbacks to me, but yeah. And then I would also like to add that Revel XP is, I believe, the people that do the deals and not actually supply the tents. Intents is the actual tent supplier still. They still do business with the University of Arkansas Athletics and the University of Arkansas. So before this takes any more wind and, gets all the wildfire that it already has, I think that intents have not been shoved out completely. Revel XP is just kind of the front face of it instead of intents being the seller.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense. And it's another layer. It turns into another layer of cost, I think. But I mean, it's an organization that's, it's an all-encompassing kind of a tailgating, planning, and experience organization, which you just listed the places that Jake Yurachek may have sold some of these premium suite experiences to. This is a company that's all across college sports, and I just think there's a lot of schools that are doing it, that are going at it from this angle, Larry, and I think you found that out too.
Yeah, I don't think this specific instance is, deliberately linked to University of Arkansas Athletics trying to, exploit and create a partnership under the table with Revel XP to get a little bit more money. That's just not the reality of this, and it's just being brought up like it is, but it is not. There's no way it can be, with them being so nationwide and being able to profit off of so many other prestigious institutions. So,
Larry, good legwork. Appreciate that. Thank you. 877-377-6963. So he did a little legwork. You and Colton Mann, it's like we could We get him and Colton and an investigative company together. You guys ever wanted to be a PI?
Robert Redford and which one would be Dustin Hoffman?
That's right. That's right. I guess Colton would have to be. Colton could be Bernstein, and our last caller, and I'm already forgetting his name, can be Woodward. Let's go to Hong Kong Sui next on our Lewis Automotive Hotline.
Larry was his name.
Hong Kong Sui, how are you? And he's not there at the moment, so let's try Robert in Fort Smith. Robert, real quick, what's up?
Hong Kong Sui will get
Well, first of all,
filling up on rice. Call back.
Go for it, Robert.
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, I'm happy Intense is still involved because I love those guys. Those guys are really good. They're local, and I love them. Part two, they're already lined up for the first. I don't remember if they've lined up earlier this year, except for maybe the Texas weekend, but the guys have the tents set up in front of Bob Walker Stadium ready to go. There's already people in line. So
I had a text from Ross in Paris a moment ago, Robert. He said he saw the Tennessee bus in Morrilton, and I'm thinking to myself,
Did he throw
wait a
eggs
minute,
at it?
you're telling me that Tennessee didn't bus here from Knoxville, did they? Please tell me they didn't. 'Cause
Probably not. They probably sent their bus ahead.
That's
you
their
know,
equipment.
so they can
You're
ride
right.
on their own bus. So anyway,
that'll be
I
their
thought I'd
equipment.
share that with you. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Are we doing it Friday?
Oh, Friday. That's right. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
We're
Well, I'm
doing
glad
it
you
Friday
called
at
me.
the Stadium Shop. Well, you can be there tomorrow. I don't think I will, or Matt, but we'll be there
Well, I will
Friday
be.
with you, Robert.
I'm looking forward to it. Matt, I may have you another song.
Looking forward to it, Robert.
Can't wait. Thanks very much, Robert. 877-377-6963. That's Robert Mann from the Stadium Shop. We'll be live at the Stadium Shop on Friday from 11 to 2 for a live edition of Halftime right there at the front of the parking lot. We'll be there as soon as you pull into the parking lot.
That's a sweet little spot right there.
It
You know,
is.
you stone's throw from the baseball stadium. Got to see Quinn. Got to see your boy Eloy's dad and baseball coach. You never know who you're going to see walking around there.
His youth coach had the biggest calf muscles I've ever seen. It was like Popeye, but Popeye's forearms were on the dude's legs instead, and maybe even had a tattoo of spinach on it too.
He's definitely been either surfing a lot or he didn't miss leg day a lot. We'll say that.
What do you call somebody that's got that kind of strength in the front of the leg? Because I think of baseball guys. I remember Jess Todd. Anybody remember Jess Todd, former Arkansas pitcher, big leaguer too? And when I didn't see him at Arkansas, but I saw him pitch in the Springfield Cardinals or a rotation when he was on his way up. And it was described to me by a former teammate of his that he was country strong. He was just talking about his forearms. And he had those Popeye forearms that were just a lot larger than anybody's forearm should be for someone of that size. And you think you shake the guy's hand, you better squeeze as hard as you can, because if he squeezes only half his strength, he's going to crumple every one of your fingers. What's Popeye's strength for somebody with just a leg that's that? So I would think that these soccer players have that kind of leg strength too. 877-377-6963 calls and texts on our Lewis Automotive Hotline. So I feel like we've gotten to the bottom of this tent situation, in which over the course of 30 minutes, we went from a nepotistic conspiracy to this is just the kind of thing that a lot of other college athletic departments are doing. And what it is it's an example of the new things that you're doing in college sports in order to get to this dollar figure that all these people are looking to hit and create new experiences at the same time to have more revenue streams. I mean, that's kind of why I feel like sometimes we see in batting practice, there are donors that are in the first base dugout. Well, you don't get that for free. You got to pay for those sort of things. And those are the experiences that this Revel XP organization also specializes in. And I think it's really just to try to fill that $20.5 million hole that the Hogs are trying to fill and everybody else in college sports are trying to fill too. Stay with us. Back to wrap up hour number 2 of Halftime right after this.
I hate rude behavior in a man. Won't tolerate it.
This is Halftime.
Hear that? That's the sound of perfection at 46 Steakhouse in Alma. When you're craving a perfectly prepared hand-cut steak, 46 Steakhouse delivers a big flavor with every bite. Every meal starts with their famous hot rolls with honey butter. From burgers and sandwiches to steakhouse salads, there's something for everyone. 46 Steakhouse, located at 108 Highway 71 next to Harps in Alma. 46 Steakhouse, where every meal is a masterpiece.
Big changes are coming. In order to serve you better, Metters Lumber is joining Ace Hardware. We will remain locally owned and operated so you can expect the same great service, but with lower pricing and better selection. We'll have exciting new brands to serve more of your needs. Come by and check out our deeply discounted merchandise as we make room for new products at Metters Lumber Company in Alma, Ozark in Clarksville.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're looking for the best used car your money can buy, check out our great selection of road-ready certified vehicles with warranty. If you're trading or selling your car, let us give you a free second opinion and leave with a check in your hand. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in the Meineke Car Care Center. Plus, follow us on Facebook for special offers and fun contests. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023, Anheuser-Busch, Bush Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Attention business owners, are you overpaying for your website, dropping thousands up front and shelling out more than $95 a month? Stop the madness! With Modular Orange, you get a custom-built, fully managed website for just $95 a month. No hidden fees, no headaches. They write it, build it, launch it, update it, and secure it so you can focus on your business. Ditch the overpriced hassle and go simple. Visit modularorange.com today. That's modularorange.com.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Forsgren is hiring immediately. Forsgren Incorporated, a heritage company and premier employer, is now hiring equipment operators, pipe layers, concrete finishers, and laborers. Have experience in any of these areas? Apply now at GoForsgren.com. Don't delay. Forsgren is hiring now at GoForsgren.com. Don't miss your opportunity to join the Forsgren legacy. Forsgren has immediate openings for equipment operators, pipe layers, concrete finishers, and laborers. Apply now at GoForsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Every Thursday, take a trip down memory lane at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Joe's is bringing back the flavors you loved from Cuco's, the beloved restaurant that once called this place home. Join Joe's Grill and Cantina for Throwback Thursday and savor classic Cuco's dishes. It's the taste from the past with the vibrant atmosphere of Joe's. Don't miss out on the reunion every Thursday at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Come for the food, stay for the memories. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Cause I don't think you have any
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
I'm going to go right to our Lewis Automotive hotline, and Jim has called us out of Springdale. Jim, good to hear from you. What's going on?
Hey, I've got some fun baseball trivia for you that ties to Arkansas baseball. Ready?
Shoot.
First of all, leading into this, does Vahiva and Cahillo have a third brother?
or a sister. I mean, is somebody a softball team? Yeah.
Softball team.
I think.
Do they have a third? Do they have another brother?
I think it's just the two of them.
Okay. Because if it was a third one, it'd be very similar to a famous baseball threesome, and actually last names off by only one letter. Phil, you know who I'm talking about.
Say the last part about the last name. Yeah, the Alou brothers. We're talking
Last name
Felipe.
is only off by one letter.
Yeah, well, that's true. I
Moises.
didn't think about that. Felipe, Maddie, and Jesus.
Name the Alou. Go ahead.
I was Felipe, Maddie, and Jesus were the Alou brothers.
That's right. And what team did they play for at the same time?
Giants.
What
The Giants
year,
or was it
roughly?
Pirates?
It was not the Pirates. It was the Giants. What year, roughly?
God, that would have been like 67, maybe. I think 67.
63. What position did they play?
They were all outfielders, I think.
Did you know that they're the only all-brother outfield to play together in the same game?
I think I'd read about that before, yes. And then Felipe, of course,
They
became the
played-
Giants manager.
That's right. That's right. And two other key points. It's funny that you mentioned the Pirates because it was a game against the Pirates when the three of them started in 1963, and the only moment in baseball history when it happened. And also one other thing, that Felipe was the first Dominican player ever to play regularly in the major league.
Wow.
I thought was interesting.
That is interesting, considering there's a lot more than one Dominican guys that have a job as a full-time Major League Baseball player right now.
Yeah, those guys broke a lot of barriers, and I just thought it was fun that the Aloy brothers are off by only one letter, and if there was one more Aloy brother, wouldn't it be cool? I'm just saying. They
Them
made
all
the
on the
majors.
team at the same time. It's like you feel it's cool to have just two brothers on the same team. LSU had brothers on the team, but they weren't one year after the other like Cahillo and Vahiva are. It was John and Josh Pearson, where like Josh Pearson didn't look like they shared the same father. We'll put it there. Josh Pearson looked more like a softball slugger, and John Pearson looked like he was more of a baseball player. So they were on the same team. They're 3 years apart at LSU.
Last question, when was the last time Arkansas had brothers, I don't have the answer to this, had brothers that were on the same team and or even started in the same year?
Now that would take a little bit of thinking. It's before I started doing these games, so it would be probably well past 11 years ago. They had the Wiggins brothers. They didn't play on the same year, but they were kind of missed each other by a year or two. We had Dominic Fletcher. His brother played at Baum, but for Loyola Marymount, not for Arkansas. That was David Fletcher. Of course, they both were in the big leagues. I think on this, was it the same team at the same time? But I can't think of the other brothers that have been at Arkansas before. I'm sure somebody out there has the answer, though, Jim.
Yep.
It's good to hear from you. Thanks a lot.
Tiki and Rondé Barber, the two best brothers to play sports.
The two best brothers to play sports.
Because you had Mason, the Mason and Marshall Plumlee at Duke, Brooke and Robin Lopez at Stanford, who played in the NBA for a year. But when you're thinking like who are the best talented, maybe Tiki and Rondé Barber are the best brother combination.
Well, at some point you're going to have two Mannings in the Hall of Fame.
Well, yeah, Peyton and Peyton and your boy Eli.
Well, I meant Arch. Oh yeah, Eli too. Sure, he'll get in there. It'll take a little bit of time to get there, but let's put Arch Manning in the Hall of Fame right now, since he's going to quarterback for Texas, right? Let's also move into hour number 3 of halftime. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Fun little brother baseball trivia question: what brother combination hit the most home runs in baseball history? It's a trick question. It's the Aaron brothers. Tommy hit like 7. Stay with halftime. We're right back after this.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Spring is here and the grass is growing fast. Upgrade to a Hustler Zero Turn. Hurry in for the Hustler sales event at WT Equipment. With Raptor X models in stock and savings up to $1,700 off MSRP. Plus, qualified buyers get 0% financing for 42 months on select Hustler mowers. These deals won't last. Visit WT Equipment today or shop online at WTEquip.com. Qualified buyers with minimum purchase, other restrictions apply. See dealer for complete details.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Attention business owners, are you overpaying for your website, dropping thousands up front and shelling out more than $95 a month? Stop the madness! With Modular Orange, you get a custom-built, fully managed website for just $95 a month. No hidden fees, no headaches. They write it, build it, launch it, update it, and secure it so you can focus on your business. Ditch the overpriced hassle and go simple. Visit modularorange.com today. That's modularorange.com.
Taco Bell's all white meat crispy chicken nuggets are back, but that doesn't make us a chicken place. I mean, yes, everyone loved them, like a lot. That's why we brought them back, along with our signature dipping sauces. But the crispy golden breading is actually tortilla chips, which is very taco place. So we're still a taco place. You think of us as a taco place, right? Who are we? No, I mean, we're good. It's just nuggets. Just crispy chicken nuggets, only at Taco Bell, your taco place. It's also a chicken place. It's also a taco place. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact store for availability.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon, upper 80s to lower 90s. Tonight, partly cloudy, and overnight low will drop down upper 60s to lower 70s. Plenty of sunshine with us on Thursday, a high into the lower 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Cop CDL Academy. Call them today at 479-632-1050. Cop CDL Academy, expanding horizons.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. You're listening to ESPN 95.3.
Just hit the ball hard. Doesn't really matter where it ends up. It's cool when it ends up over the fence.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that could respect you. Ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
What they for one race back?
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Welcome back. Halftime continues. 101 in the PM. Great to be with you for our last hour here. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Christian Johnston. We were talking Sports Brothers a moment ago, and I get put on the spot, and I can't remember some of the things. Bubba Carpenter played with his brother Jay at Arkansas for at least 3 years. They played together.
Nice.
But I think when you're looking at brothers, it's it's not brothers even on the same team or in the same sport. It's if there's three of them together. That's the thing that stands out. So you think of the Canseco brothers, Jose and Ozzy. Was there a third? I don't know. Thinking of the Manning brothers. Well, now there may be a third, but they're not a brother. I mean, the third brother, Cooper, became the father that, births that brings Arch into the world. So there wasn't a third to go along with the Mannings. Thinking of the Aarons, there was just the two of them. Even Chris Gwynn and Tony Gwynn. I mean, Tony Gwynn, there was Chris Gwynn, and that was it. There was Tony Gwynn's son, but he wasn't a third brother. So I can't think of the three, but there are the Alous. There were the DiMaggios. There was Joe DiMaggio, Vince DiMaggio, and Dom DiMaggio. I don't know if they ever played on the same team, but there was a time where it's usually not two brothers. It's the three that come together, which, that makes the Alou brothers all outfield at the same time, just unique. I don't know if it's ever happened since. Ryan says his dad played with Bubba's brother, Jay, and I've never met him. Russell asked about the Brett brothers. Well, there was George and Ken.
The Ripkins.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The Ripkins. There's Billy, which he's got a great nickname on the bottom of his bat. And then there was Cal Sr., the father of both of those guys, so it wouldn't necessarily sit. The Martinez brothers, two great pitchers. Remember when Ramon Martinez came up with the Dodgers? What was that, 92 or 93? He had that unique, whipping arm action, but then you started to hear about his younger brother who may have been better than him, and that was Pedro Martinez. There was no third Martinez brother that I can remember. The Molinas. I think there was a third Molina. There's Yadier. There was Benji. And who was the third? I think there's a third Molina, but I can't remember if he had Benji. And he didn't even amounted to something. So it's not two, it's three of them that makes it a little bit different. Boone's, there's Aaron and Brett, but then there's Bob, the dad. So I don't think it was three of them. There's Hector and Jose Cruz. Did they have a brother? Was it a Jose Cruz Jr.? I think it was Jose Cruz Jr. Just that. That's all. I don't know whether there were three brothers that did it. And then there's Matthews, Bruce. Was there a brother for Bruce? Because he had Clay Matthews too.
Jake Matthews.
There you go, Jake Matthews. Jose Molina is the third Molina, according to Stan. There you go. There's a good one there. And he played in the big leagues. And it was one at the level of Benji. I don't think it was quite at the level of, or even close to the level of Yadier either. The Dean brothers, that's an Arkansas connection. Dizzy and Daffy. Jay and Paul were their real names. And yeah, brothers will get you going for a good long time. Brothers got a hug, man.
Did the Morgan brothers play at the same time?
Drew and Grant?
Yeah.
They might have crossed paths for maybe while one of them was redshirting, or I don't know if they actually were playing at the same time.
And I don't think the Henry brothers did.
I think they
maybe.
They might have. They might have been a year. Might have been a year that got mixed in there. JJ, TJ, and Derek Watt. That's a good one from Chris in Springdale. There's three brothers. Two of them that play the same position, and the other guy plays a position that nobody even wants in the NFL anymore in fullback. It's like, how could you? Wait, I guess he didn't get the pass rushing gene. He got the blocking gene instead.
The Allen brothers, did they? Man, I
oh,
say
sure.
that they did.
Yeah, Brandon and absolutely. One followed the other. They were teammates together. Yeah, there you go. It's a good question you asked, Matt. The list, I think the list is pretty long
right now. The number one English international, Jude Bellingham. He's England's best player. He has a brother, but he not close as good as. And then Paul Pogba, who was at France when they won a World Cup and played at Man United. He's an amazing. He has a brother, just never made it to the top.
It's tough being the brother that's good, but not. Otherworldly.
It's still amazing. He made it to third tier soccer division. He didn't make it to the championship. Yeah.
Didn't Tiki go? Is Tiki Barber going to the Hall of Fame, or is he already in and Rondé's going in? And they're both gonna have the gold jackets. And there was a brother recently. You had Shannon Sharp
and Sterling,
and kind of tell Sterling Sharp that he's going into the Hall of Fame at his house. So those are the ones that stand out as kind of equally talented, or at least close enough.
Something happened to Shannon Sharp. I hadn't heard from him in a while.
Yeah, there's I don't think you're going to be hearing from him for a while.
Radio
on,
silence all of a
on
sudden.
ESPN at all. No, not at all. They're keeping Berman on. They're bringing back Rich Eisen. Did you see Berman signed on to be the first ever 50-year ESPN employee? Signed on with them in 79, and this contract will go through 2029.
He's like Kenan Thompson at SNL.
Can't ever get rid of him. And still gets cast in other movies, too. He's going to be in the Happy Gilmore 2 that comes out in the summer.
Nice.
Of course. And then Rich Eisen is going back to ESPN just for the radio show. It's like, I've forgotten that primetime is on ESPN Plus. I just used to love, that was the best way to wrap up Sunday NFL before the Sunday night game with Berman and Tom Jackson together. Now it's on ESPN Plus. And by the way, did you see that there's going to be a real direct-to-consumer ESPN app now that you don't have to have a cable or streaming subscription? It'll be released sometime in the summertime, and it's only being called ESPN. $299 a year. You get all 7 ESPN channels. Another $129, and you get ESPN Plus with it. So, I mean, you're talking about over $400 a year to get ESPN's channels, and you're probably already paying that just on your subscriber fees alone.
Was that $30 a month? Is that about what that would end up being, somewhere around there?
Oh, you're gonna make me do math, but yeah, I think it's close to that. But yeah, I think you're already paying that.
That's what I mean. That's not a bad deal, right?
If it would be, let's say 300 and 129, so that's $429. Yeah, you're paying about 36 a month. 36 a month, in which you're already paying that to either, whoever it is, Cox, Xfinity, YouTube TV, Sling, whatever. You're already paying that to ESPN. You're just doing it through an intermediary. So, and I'm one of those people that I don't need the other channels. I can get, now I do like YouTube TV for traveling, but any hotel room will have the channels on YouTube TV that I get here on my iPad or on my TV. You get your rabbit ears, so CBS, NBC, Fox, ABC, as long as you get a good enough signal. I mean, there's a lot of people out there who have just kept their cable or streaming subscription because of ESPN. Now, I remember there was supposed to be some other app which was going to combine all the sports programming, I mean the live programming from Fox and ESPN together, but I don't know if they've gone forward with those plans, because if you're going to drop your cable, drop your streaming, well, then you want to have Fox too, right? You want to have FS1, FS2. Maybe you don't, but I would think you would. But you're going to pay this. It's $36 a month on top of all the other subscriptions, but you're going to drop your other subscriptions too, because that's the only reason to do it, is if you drop all of your other subscriptions. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive hotline, and William is here from Lafayette. What's up, William? How are you?
Doing pretty good. You guys doing good?
Good, thank you.
Yeah, I want to talk about the three brothers. I have some cousins on the Oklahoma side that are big Sooners fans, and they're real big on the Selman brothers.
Oh, sure.
And I asked Clay Henry about the Selman brothers. Those guys were pretty good, and I've heard for years that the reason Barry Switzer didn't take the Arkansas job was because those guys were so good, and he knew he was going to win some serious games with them, so he declined the offer. But I just wanted to call in and bring that up. You guys have a great day.
Thank you very much, William. Yeah, the Selmans. The Dick brothers, there's another one that came in. Jason and Travis Kelce at Cincinnati, that's right. And I guess
Nutt brothers, how many of them played Division I athletes? And at least 3 of them did. I don't know if they all played on the same team.
Well, you're right. There you go. It's one that's connected right there to you, Matt. Absolutely. Does Tay count as an honorary Kelce now? Is she a Kelce brother?
Absolutely.
So there you go. There's three Kelces in the NFL too.
My sisters, both twins, they played same college basketball team. That was pretty cool.
I'm trying to remember brothers I saw in the minors. I never had brothers on any of the minor league teams I worked for. We had brothers of players that would sit around. It's like I remember we had Mike Trout, our center fielder in 2011. His brother Tyler came to a lot of our games. Even though he lived in New Jersey, he still came out to a lot of our games. And you're thinking, what's it like to be the brother of somebody who has real like being Superman's brother, and you don't get the superpowers. you get known as the nice guy. You get
Danny
known
DeVito?
as you're the guy. That's right. You're Danny DeVito in Twins to Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's exactly right. You got the trash. You got the trash DNA aspect of it, and your brother is one of the greatest players in the history of the sport. We're talking about brothers that may have somewhat equal talent and athletic ability. What about the brothers where one got all the athletic ability and probably all the smarts too, and the other guy is just some regular old schlub? 877-377-6963. Schlub is a good word. That's a good Yiddish one to throw at you sometimes. Want to remind you about the Fence Man. Protect what matters most, and the Fence Man does specialize in heavy-duty security fencing, powered automatic gates as well. They got you covered, and they got you very, very safe. The Fence Man serves the Fort Smith area and has been doing it for more than 40 years. They custom-build gates that are built to last. Free quotes, financing for 18 months. And when you're talking security fencing, nobody does it any better than the Fence Man. You can call the Fence Man at 479-782-3936. TheFencemanAR.com is the website, and the Fence Man, as always, ain't afraid of no work. We're back with more Halftime in just a moment.
I think it's your girlfriend called.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, home of the Lewis Guarantee. Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Sandy White Perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Taco Bell brought back crispy chicken nuggets, and I can't believe how good they are.
Why can't you believe it?
Because you're Taco Bell. Taco Bell.
Yeah, but a taco place can do nuggets, right?
Yeah, the Hidden Valley Fire Ranch is awesome.
Okay, they're good, but we're not a chicken place.
When did you guys become a chicken place?
Chicken? Can't a taco place do good nuggets? Are we not allowed to do both?
What do you mean?
You think it's cool to do both, right? Why are you looking at me like that?
Are they okay?
I don't think so.
We're totally a taco place that's a chicken place that's also a taco place.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge. And when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Been down all day.
I need to sit though.
Finally make a putt. Let's go tap in pars.
Golf is back. Shop polos, hoodies, and Q-zips at Rhoback.com.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing and we're into the NBA and NHL playoffs, and BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from the MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC, BetOnline remains the best online source for all your sports wagering information. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. Bet online. The game starts here.
People.
Up to $10,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off. Or lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer EV. With hands-free driving assistance, go 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds for as low as $800 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
Roll her up for the 10th time today. Practice all the things I would say. She came over, I lost my nerve. I took her back and made her dessert. Why not? I'll be you. It's okay, cause I like the abuse. Why not? Play with me. That's okay, cause I got no self-esteem.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend, Matt Jones.
Here's two brothers that shared DNA and went in opposite directions. We know them well in Arkansas, Bill and Roger Clinton. I think that fits the bill. Well called, Joey. Texted in on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. How about this one? You want to talk about brothers that one got all the talent and the other did not? This is just like twins, Matt. Your boy Ellie De La Cruz, the outstanding shortstop for the Cincinnati Reds, who is 6'6", has a twin brother. Fraternal twin. I really didn't even need to tell you that he's fraternal, because this brother, Pedro De La Cruz, is 5'8", and they're standing next to each other in a photo that the MLB Network broadcast a couple of weeks ago. It gets even better because De La Cruz is doing a little signal with his hand, with his right hand. That's Ellie, and younger brother Pedro is flipping off the camera with his middle finger, and that made it on the airwaves of MLB Network and the Atlanta Braves broadcast. What a world.
Hey, that's how some brothers bonds, it's just how they go. It's just really, it means I love you in a different language.
That would make Pedro De La Cruz Fredo in The Godfather. He's the one who can stand off to the side. I'm smart. I know things. But he doesn't make it to the end of the second movie.
Well, what about Johnny and Jack Cash? Jack didn't make it to past the prequel of the first movie.
Well, that's kind of affected him throughout his entire life. That's a very good call.
Well, art to be a good artist, I think there has to be a little bit of pain somewhere in there. I don't think you can have good art if you don't have it. So maybe it helped. I mean, maybe it helped him kind of discover who he was.
Well, then there's the Canseco's who are identical twins. Not identical in terms of the ability to hit a baseball, though.
Oh, and your boy the Yambis.
That's right.
Jason Yambi.
Jason Yambi. Yeah.
Yambi's kind of tough to get on that soft J.
Jeremy Giambi did not have the same characteristics as Jason Giambi, and I don't know. Was it the roids? Would that have been the reason why? I mean, Jason Giambi went from somebody that had no power in the minors to then hitting 30 to 40 home runs on a near annual basis. Jeremy was good. Jason was great. And then he had that hair. Definitely had that hair. So I did just teach our friend Seaburger movie homework a little bit about brothers. So we brought up the Ripkins a moment ago. Yeah. Anybody out there want to take a guess as if you're going to teach somebody about Billy Ripkin? What is it you're going to teach?
Would you teach him? Would you say let's go learn about the Baldwin brothers, or would you say let's go learn about the Wahlberg brothers?
I want to know about the Baldwin
I'm
brothers.
telling you, right?
Much more. Yeah, those are
some of those stories.
Some volatile guys, some highly volatile guys that I'm not even sure you could put them in the same room anymore.
Your boy that's with has C Movie Unit watched Usual Suspects with a Baldwin that's in that one? If he hadn't seen that one, that
was
be
Steven, right?
I think the dreamy one, the smoky eyes,
Yeah, he was the one who was also in Sliver with
he's in the Prison Break movie.
Sharon Stone. That's right. So there's Steven, there's Billy, there's Alec Baldwin.
And I think there's another one, but I think there's at least 4 or 5 of them.
Is there a Daniel Baldwin thrown out there too? What about Sean and Chris Penn? 2 really good actor brothers. That's a good one for you too.
Now he's seen the movie with Chris Penn, Reservoir Dogs, I think. Do you remember Reservoir Dogs, Unit?
Yes.
Okay. He said yes, and we'll leave it at that.
I remember the name.
You can come up with some sort of a pop quiz for him any moment,
Yes,
I'm sure.
that'll work.
So what do you think we taught our friend here about Billy Ripken? If you're going to teach somebody about the Ripkens, well, Cal Ripken Sr. Was a good, not great manager that was fired in the midst of a 24-game losing streak to begin the 1988 season when his sons were the double play combo. Now, you don't need to be taught anything about Cal Ripken Jr., of course. Billy Ripken has the greatest baseball card in the history of baseball cards. And C Movie, did you find it?
Yeah.
You want to say what's written on the knob of the baseball of the knob of the bat on the baseball card? Or do I have to beep it out for you?
Let's see. Chuck face.
That's good. There you go. We went with the Tuck Fexus angle of it. Perfect. That's well done. That's right. Tuck face. It's the greatest baseball card of all time. And it is a brother on that baseball card, too.
That's just how they talk. Yeah.
Is there a more annoying brother than, what is the guy's name? Patrick Mahomes' brother?
Oh, yeah.
Like you could be sick of Patrick Mahomes on State Farm commercials or always being on the primetime game, but, the Chiefs are the Chiefs, so what are you going to do about that? The younger brother, though, it's like I avoid him easily because I don't get on TikTok. And I'm not really focused on his aspect of whatever's going on X or Twitter. So
not really into somebody who can't keep your hands to yourself.
He was definitely
one of the first rules about kind of being in adolescence and growing up is, shower, brush your teeth, use deodorant. Keep your hands to yourself.
Good idea. And then I'm thinking of the Jacksons and it wasn't just the Jackson 5. Heck, I think 3 of their sisters had of course, there's Janet, there's LaToya, and I think there was another Jackson, too, that was in the top 40 because of my addiction to the Casey Kasem America's Top 40 shows. So I know I've heard these. And yesterday, I got my kids with me. We're driving back for dinner. We had the Casey Kasem show on, and on came a Jermaine Jackson hit from 1984. And this song was just absolutely awful. Just terrible. I heard a couple of other songs by Jermaine Jackson that were good. This was not one of them. And my kids were all fired up about it when it first started because they think anything by Michael Jackson is going to be really good, right? The stuff by Jermaine and some of the other brothers, not so much. Jackson Mahomes is the name of Patrick Mahomes' brother. He is definitely somebody to avoid at all costs. Yeah, absolutely at all costs. Yeah, Charles and Jay Carpenter, that's right. Charles is Bubba, of course. And I've never met Jay. I know Bubba very, very well. And I do know that they definitely played together for at least 3 years at Arkansas. Michael texts in. He says Mark Grace's brother Mike used to be a baseball umpire in Northwest Arkansas. Never looking at comics. Well done, B.E. Eddie and Charlie Murphy. That was when I learned that guy was Eddie Murphy's brother. I had to pause the television. I thought, oh, that's right. Look at this dude. He actually looks just like him. Go figure. But the one I can't get over is Ellie De La Cruz has a 5'8" twin brother. There is nothing more fraternal in terms of being a fraternal twin than twins where one of them is 6'6" and the other is 5'8". I mean, this is Twins. This is the movie Twins. It's exactly what it is. The only thing is that the De La Cruzes know who their mom is. They didn't know who their mom was in that movie. And Danny DeVito was pretty pissed when he met her. All right, we'll break in a moment. Want to remind you about WT Equipment, your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment, sales, parts, and service. High horsepower row crop tractors, combines, utility tractors, hay equipment, compact track loaders, and mini excavators, and much more. WT Equipment has it all at any of their 8 locations around our listening audience and online at WTEquip.com. WT Equipment, your partner in progress. Stay with Halftime. It's the home stretch. Get into Arkansas pitching in just a moment.
Who's the big winner here tonight at the casino? Huh? Mikey, that's who. Mikey's the big winner.
This is Halftime.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Tuning into your favorite team's game or actually going to the stadium is better when you feel at your best. If something's not quite right, reduce tension and pain and increase flexibility with expert-assisted stretching at StretchLab. Each session is customized to your body's needs with your unique goals in mind. Visit your local StretchLab today or go to StretchLab.com to get up to 50% off your first 50-minute stretch. Plus, get an additional $10 off with code FAN10. That's code FAN10 at StretchLab.com.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Hey guys, it's Ethan here at Wheeler Power Sports, and we invite you to join us for our 58th anniversary Kawasaki Open House, May 16th and 17th at Wheeler Power Sports, featuring demo rides on many Kawasaki street bikes, including the Ninja 7 Hybrid, the Ninja 500, the Ninja 650, the Vulcan S, KLR 650, and the Eliminator. Mark your calendars for May 16th and 17th at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith at 901 North 11th Street. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Insurance company throwing you a curveball? Are they crowding the plate and not offering you a fair settlement? If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need an experienced attorney to fight for you. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions, licensed in Arkansas and Oklahoma. No win, no fee. Call Mock Legal Solutions today for your free consultation. 479-769-1505. Real advice, reasonable price.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue.
Folks from Arkansas and Oklahoma River Valley buy a quality vehicle and offer a buy here, pay here program as part of their services. Some restrictions may apply. Come visit Edwards Auto Center newly remodeled facility 3 miles west of the Garrison Bridge, the first car dealer on your right, or log on at edwardsautosalesinc.com. Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment, or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Come on and steer it up.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Earlier today, Dave Van Horn had a pre-series presser to talk Arkansas versus Tennessee and anything else that the guys or gals dreamed up for questions, and changing the pitching rotation for a little bit for this weekend. Not in terms of the names on the rotation, but where Gage Wood will start. Zach Root will start tomorrow. He's on a day short rest, but he's done that a couple times this year, and I don't think it's affected him so badly. A TBA for Friday's second game, and then Gage Wood on the mound Saturday. That's to keep Wood on the same amount of rest, on normal rest, which also means, well, to see this next series with Tennessee will detail the situation that Arkansas faces in Hoover next week. Now, obviously, Hoover's not going to have anything to do, nothing. It will have nothing to do with Arkansas's place in the seedings for the NCAA tournament. Literally won't have anything to do with it. What's at stake is keeping your pitchers on the same amount of rest if you continue to play. The tournaments changed from changed from what used to be a single elimination round, then 2 double elimination rounds, and then a single elimination semifinal, followed by a single elimination championship. It was always so much fun to describe what that tournament's like. Now it's straightforward. If you are seeds 1 through 4, you get a double bye to either Thursday or Friday. If you're seeds 5, 6, 7, and 8, you get a single bye to the second round on Wednesday. And if you finished in the bottom 8, well, you get to play on Tuesday, which nobody really wants to do. So what's at stake for the Razorbacks? Essentially 2 wins. You guarantee them a top 4 in the SEC tournament, which is either Thursday or Friday next week. And the byproduct of that would be top 8 national seed no matter what. And I saw some prognostications that have picked Arkansas as, now this is where those rankings, again, I keep trying to point out, please, pretty please, forget about the baseball rankings from any of the organizations. They do not matter. D1 baseball has what? Arkansas 7th or 8th in the poll? I don't know. So that'll tell you what I think of the polls. But they also have Arkansas as the number 3 seed in the tournament, which matters a heck of a lot more. So those are people that are putting votes together and say, well, we think Arkansas is the 7th best team in the country, but then they're also on the other side of their mouth saying, but we think they're going to be the 3rd seed. So what do you think matters more? So with this change in the rotation, I think it makes sense, but that also, the way that you've used the 3rd game has been whoever has not pitched the first 2 games is available now. So that's moving your bullpen game from when you usually do it. You usually do a bullpen game the last game of a series because it's who hasn't thrown yet. Now it's to keep Gage on proper rest, and then it's a matter of, well, I guess you throw it to the wall and see what sticks on Friday, whether it's Beidel-Sheez or, well, I would assume it'll be Beidel-Sheez. I don't think they'll start somebody else. 877-377-6963 for any thoughts you have on Arkansas pitching. That is our Lewis Automotive Hotline. People have been a little more interested in brothers on the same team or brothers in the same band and hamburgers and cheeseburgers, and why we wouldn't even just put a cheese on a burger no matter what, unless you're keeping kosher. The Hatfield brothers all played Arkansas football. Yep, Stan in Fort Smith sent that in. He also sent in the things about the Molinas, where they got through the Boons. There's Hatfields again. We got an honorary Kelsey. It's Taylor Swift. And I think we've gone through just about all of those.
Bob Marley had a brother.
Yes, he did. I think he had 2 brothers, Anthony and Richard. That's right. So you dig in on the Pete Rose, and it's not just Pete Rose, this situation with Rose. Matt, I'm going to ask you how you feel about this. I mean, I went on a dissertation in the first hour about, why Manfred has done this, and I think the nuances of the situation. Do you have an opinion on?
I don't know if I know all the facts, but I'll tell you this: the fact that he was a manager and was betting on game, to me, that's just no, never ever do you get in for. That's just like you're kind of the whole aspect of everything that's fundamental about baseball and competition and sports. Cheating, I just not a fan of cheating at all, especially like what the Houston Astros did. I get people, you're doing the Lance Armstrong, everybody's blood doping and steroids. I don't know, it wasn't my thing. But if you're a manager and you know how to finagle and do it, that's just, to me, man, that's pretty low.
So it feels like there's a disconnect too. And you mentioned the Astros and the sign stealing scandal and everything that was proven about this. And I mean, maybe we can point to whether or not Altuve had a wire on his chest or not and all of that, but the facts are the facts. The Astros cheated in the regular season that year. That's a fact. And so you have a commissioner here that he's not making value judgments on whether or not Rose belongs in the Hall of Fame or the other cheaters from the Black Sox scandal or anybody else who was banned from the sport for gambling. He's leaving that decision up to the voters. He's not like giving you his opinion on whether or not Rose belongs in. The thing with the Astros in 2017, the more you think about it, the more you realize, well, this is a true chance to put everybody else on notice. Like one of the aspects of keeping Rose out of the Hall of Fame, not just for his life, but for eternity, is to serve as an example to anybody else that may be thinking about gambling on the sport they play. And you put them in after death, and be like, well, you didn't get a chance to enjoy that. I do think there may be some people that are uncomfortable in social situations that would rather be enshrined after death.
Posthumously, 100%. Yeah,
Matt may be one of them.
Well, that was kind of the joke whenever lucky enough to go into the Sports Hall of Fame and what are the Arkansas Ring of Honor or whatever that one is too. But yeah, not the whole time you're just like, man, I'm not going to be around much longer. Just go ahead and do it whenever that happens. But I think it's more for your family. It's more for other. It's like it's a way to, because as playing a team sport as an individual, there's no way I would be there without my parents, my teammates, my coaches. There's a lot of people that go into making something like that happen.
Well, think of the players that were made examples of for their gambling. It started with the Black Sox, the 1919 World Series. See, Unit, if you've never seen the movie 8 Men Out or read the book, like that's you have to see this.
Boston College scandal, Arizona State scandal. I'm thinking college basketball. Both of those.
CCNY had a scandal in the 50s.
Yeah.
They had a basketball point shaving scandal in the 50s that shook the pillars of college basketball and basically ended one of the great programs of the time in CCNY, the City College of New York. But you make an example of these people because you want to make sure that everybody else that's following them sees what happened. The Black Sox were banned from the sport, not just because of what they did, but to serve an example to all the other players that were going to come for dozens and hundreds of years after.
Shoeless Joe got banned from Field of Dreams. I mean, that's worse, I think.
Yeah, they turned him into a right-handed hitter in Field of Dreams, man. They didn't even get the right side of the plate he hit on. So that's why these things happen. They serve as examples. So that the thing with the Astros, if you want to talk about the ability to make an example of a team, even though the World Series, you can't take away the World Series. You can't take away the celebration. You can't take away the moments that people shared. It's the same idea as taking away, however many wins a coach has because of improprieties in recruiting and all of that sort of stuff. You're going to be like, all right, so you're going to tell me that these things didn't happen. But the show cause is the thing that makes the example of him. The show cause is the thing that's supposed to put trepidation in somebody else's mind when they're thinking about breaking the laws of the sport. And if you think of what Manfred did with the World Series trophy and how he denigrated the trophy and just called it a piece of metal and allowed the Astros to continue to hold on to being a world champion instead of taking down that banner, well, that's actually an example you can show. But, you know, in this case, this wasn't cheating. This was an instance of, for as much as Pete Rose appeared to love baseball, and I don't think that can be challenged. I think Pete Rose absolutely loved the sport of baseball, but I think he loved gambling more. I think he had an addiction that just consumed his soul. And I don't know what it's like to be addicted to gambling, but I know people who have lived within that. And I just feel like it's a really difficult thing to break. But you get the opportunity to when you put, you know, an example by Major League Baseball to the world and still at that point deny. That's what got him, that's what kept this ban going farther into, well, after his life ends. So,
well, I think if you lie, I think that hurts as well, right? Like once you're caught, don't you have to kind of tell the truth? But if you keep covering up, kind of that's the Lance Armstrong thing a little bit. It's like he just kept doubling down. It's like, well, you've been caught. You got to kind of admit it now.
Well, and it's the same like with Palmeiro, you know, wagging his finger at Congress at the congressional hearings. And then it comes out, well, you know what? You tested positive. So we can't, you know, and we all have opinions about this. And I feel like so many opinions come from where we are as a fan. And nostalgia is an amazingly powerful drug. You know, I could probably talk myself in circles as to why Barry Bonds belongs in the Hall of Fame. And then you look at, you know, the fact that the home run record probably doesn't mean what it used to mean, and that's the reason why. Well, there's plenty of examples to show why he probably doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame. But I do know that was an industry-wide thing in which he was part of a scandal that enveloped, I think, hundreds of other players and executives and managers. You know, I pointed out the example of Bud Selig. Selig had to have known that there were things going on in clubhouses like that. Well, what about Tony La Russa? What about Tony La Russa, the manager of those Oakland A's, the ones who really brought, I mean, that's who brought the steroids into being in baseball for the most part, were the A's of the late 80s. He was the manager of those teams. And then Tony La Russa is the manager with McGwire when he breaks the record in 1998. Are we to believe that La Russa didn't know that these things were happening in his own clubhouse, or at least have an inkling or hear some things about it? He's in the Hall of Fame. So why go to one aspect? You say, well, they're just blaming the players. It's just the players' fault. That's it. It's an industry-wide thing. With Rose, this was a one-man thing. A one-man thing who broke a rule that had been the biggest letters in the clubhouse on the walls for 80 years. And we've got to erase the idea of what fans think about this. The only opinions that matter are the people on the committee who are going to be voting on this, in which he and anybody else that's a candidate in December 2027, that is the earliest Rose can come up for election. You got to get 12 votes. Just like when you're in the writers aspect of it, you got to get 75%. You got to get 75% of 16 votes. So where will these votes come from? All right. This committee just voted and put in Dick Allen and Dave Parker. The committee members were Paul Molitor, Eddie Murray, Tony Perez, Lee Smith, Ozzie Smith. Those are 5 Hall of Fame players. Tony Perez was a teammate of Pete Rose, who is on record now as saying, I think he should be in the Hall of Fame because he finally came clean. Before that, Perez was on record as saying he doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame. What would Paul Molitor think? What would Ozzie Smith think about this? People that follow those rules. And then the executives who were on the committee too. Sandy Alderson, an all-time executive. Dayton Moore, Robert Moore's father. Artie Moreno, the owner of the Angels. Brian Sabian, who put together 3 world championships with the Giants. And 5 other media members who have been covering the game for a long, long time. You got to get 12 of them in. I still don't think it's a shoo-in that Rose makes it into the Hall of Fame, knowing you've got to get 12 people, and that means you probably have to get all the players. And I bet you there are going to be players who will not vote for him because they follow the rules and he did not.
So to be in the Hall of Fame, don't you think like you got to kind of be considered the best player at least? So he won 1 MVP award. You know, is that enough? You know, he got a World Series award, won a National League value in '73. You know, was Pete Rose ever the best player in the game? Was he?
I don't know if he ever was really even the best player on his team. Yeah. And that's saying more about the guys that were on his team. I mean, Johnny Bench is maybe the greatest catcher of all time. Joe Morgan won back-to-back MVPs while Rose was on those teams. Though he belongs in the Hall of Fame if you're just going by the career, by his playing career. I mean, you can't. It's the hit king, and he was a great ball player. The guy played at 6 different positions. He won 2 or 3 World Series, including one with the '80 Phillies. I mean, that's the first one they ever won. He was truly an iconic player, and that makes this story so tragic. That's what makes the story so tragic, because he embodied the way he played the game. That's the way you're supposed to play the game. Off the field, that's not how you're supposed to handle yourself.
6 different positions. Him and Rafael Devers probably would have been best friends.
You can imagine Rose's conversation with Devers.
I can't. Exactly right.
We need you to move over to first base, guy. Yeah. What's your name again?
Not going to work here very much longer.
Forget it. I'm not putting my money on the Reds today. I think that's the next thing he would have said. 877-377-6963 calls and texts on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Remember Crabtree RV Center in Alma. Been serving the River Valley in Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and counting. Every buyer and their family get the best RV purchasing experience. You get to choose the right RV, personalized financing on site, top-of-the-line parts and service department as well at Crabtree RV, right where I-40 and I-49 come together in Alma beside the Cracker Barrel, and online at crabtreerv.com. Back to wrap up a Wednesday edition of Halftime right after this.
Yo, Adrian, it's me, Rocky.
This is Halftime.
Doctors, nurses, and other medical professionals are just people. They've got their lives and families same as you and me. But what happens when big hospitals and insurance companies ask too much of them and make them work too many hours without enough help? You can only stretch something so far before it breaks and people get hurt or even die. That's where I come in. If the healthcare system in our area has hurt you or someone you love, call me. Together, let's make them do healthcare better. I'm Phil Votaw, and you've never met a lawyer like me.
Family, that's what sets us apart. Crabtree RV Center, founded in 1950 by E.J. and Aline Crabtree, family owned and operated, serving Arkansas for 74 years.
I've been working full-time here at Crabtree RV since 1996 after graduating from the University of Arkansas, where I'm proud to carry on my grandparents' legacy.
I know if Mom and Dad could see Crabtree RVs today, they would be so proud.
Crabtree RV Center in Alma, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
Mother's Day is coming up fast and you don't want to drop the ball. Show the incredible moms in your life how much you love and appreciate them with a thoughtful gift from Pro Flowers. Ordering takes just minutes, and Pro Flowers' large selection of modern arrangements at affordable prices are sure to make you look like a gift-giving pro. Visit proflowers.com/sports or use the code SPORTS at checkout for $15 off your Mother's Day order. All Pro Flowers orders are backed by our 7-day freshness guarantee, so you can gift easy with Pro Flowers.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment, or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jazzco Graphics, now 17 years in the industry. Cecil, this is the one-stop shop.
Yes, Jazzco Graphics Design, the one-stop shop, 2415 Midland, for your custom or buck order.
Why ESPN 95.3?
I really enjoy listening in, and it keeps my day going while I'm at work. Jazzco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jazzco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs, with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. We here at ESPN rely on our Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on what's going on around our building, as many of you do. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your belongings. License E50.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Walked into the room, there was voodoo in the vibes. I was captured by your style, but I could not get you right. Now I stand here helplessly, you get into me.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
All right, what's going on tonight for sports, guys? What's on TV? We got, hey, the NFL schedule releases today. Man, it's like the more I realize the NFL is becoming like Taco Bell in the movie Demolition Man. It's like going to be the only thing left. Remember the movie Demolition Man with Wesley Snipes and Stallone? And the only restaurant that's left in the world was Taco Bell, which, by the way, they bring you the Hit That Line Now app because they're the only restaurant left in the world. And I think it was because there were fast food wars that have been fought and they beat out all the others. At some point, the NFL is going to be the only league still doing it, but they'll be running baseball and basketball and hockey because they just find a way to take over every single month. I mean, you had the draft last month, you get the schedule release now. I'm told this is viewed as the, quote, Super Bowl of content creators, unquote.
Well, you got two NBA series with two star players that will not be playing. Jason Tatum in closeout games, so to speak, not necessarily game sevens. Jason Tatum is out. Knicks have a chance to close it out in 5, and then Steph Curry's out as well, and so they could get closed out tonight at 5 in 5 as well.
I read where if they win this game, he may be back for Game 6. Maybe.
I'm going to go with the best player on the floor, Anthony Edwards.
As you have been all series.
I'm going to take the home team and the best player.
You've been right about that one. So it's just so much talk about Pete Rose. What about the Black Sox? I was looking these guys' names up, and I remembered some of their names. They all had really cool nicknames. There were 8, of course. 7 of them were really important players on the team.
Talk about being the brother that's not very good. What about being that 9th guy that didn't that didn't get offered, right?
Yeah, Ray Schalk, the catcher, who would not have done it anyway. But you can tell, based off the ideas of these guys' names and what they were called, who were the regulars and who was just the schlub that they, I don't know, threw a bone to and let him be part of this. The guys' names were Happy, Chick, Swede, Buck, Lefty, Knuckles, and Fred.
So Knuckles is who you want, like if you're going out that evening and you want to make sure you stay safe, you take him out.
They said that so Knuckles was Eddie Seacott. He was their best pitcher. And without Seacott, there was no point in even trying to throw the World Series. They had to have pitchers to do it. And they had the entire outfield. They had 3 out of 4 infielders. They didn't have the catcher, but when they got the 2 pitchers, they knew that they had what they needed. And yep, all banned. 8 men out. That'd be worth anybody's time. If just getting into this conversation, because it's not just about Pete Rose. If it starts with Pete Rose, you're missing such a huge part of the story. And hey, the fact that Manfred did this, I don't mind that Manfred did this. It'll be in the eyes of the voters. I don't think Rose is going to get into the Hall of Fame anytime soon. We appreciate you joining us for halftime today. It was really a fun Wednesday. Matt, Christian, looking forward to being in the same room with you guys tomorrow.
Let's go baseball.
For a Thursday edition of Halftime. Be headed up for Game 1 of the series tomorrow afternoon. And then we're at the Stadium Shop Friday live from 11 to 2. Ruskin and Zach coming up in just a couple of minutes. Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast downloadable very soon. and looking forward to being with you guys tomorrow in studio. So for Matt Jones, the Seaburger Movie Unit, I'm Phil, and for Colton Little, who was our investigative journalist briefly today on the show, that's halftime. Now get up, get out, and get better.